Right, we're live. Hey guys, how's it going? Welcome back to the Kiwi Lads channel. We are here for Super Rugby Pacific round 4 currently, and we have already seen one game happen a little bit earlier on. The Blues taken on the Highlanders, and what was probably the longest game of Super Rugby I've seen in a very long time, and it went for about 90 minutes. But in the end, don't want to give away too many spoilers, but this is the table as it sits currently. The Crusaders in first on 14. The Brumbies, who are playing in this game up against the Rebels, they are sitting on 13, with the Reds also breathing down their necks. Just the points differential, giving them a little bit of a boost. Then looking through at the Blues, they are going to be sitting there in fourth, with the Hurricanes in fifth. Waratahs still sitting there in the mid-range area. And then this team down near the Rebels, they are taking on the Brumbies in this game, which should promise to be a very exciting game between the two sides. So hopefully it is a good match, and hopefully you guys are excited for it. And also we've got that hi in it there as well from it was Henry, Samuel, Neville, and also LJ here, and also Crazy and Cetus here for this matchup as well. But we will show the starting lineups for these two sides. A big return there for the Rebels, and we will get to them straight away because they are the home side for this match. And the man who's right next to my head here, Andrew Callaway, he is back at number 14, had a phenomenal season for the Rebels last year, and also managed to make his way into the Wallabies and performed at the international level alongside that. Cameron Orr, Jordan Ulysses, and Kobus Eloff, they will be the front row. I'm a little bit worried about Ulysses, though, because we have seen recently it seems to be some sort of rib injury that every time he takes some sort of heavy contact, he seems to go down, has to be replaced. So I'm hoping he is 100% going into this game. Matt Phillip at 4, and then at number 5, there's going to be Josh Canham. Michael Wells at 6, Brad Wilkin there at number 7, and then Tamati Ioane at number 8, who is an absolute beast. Reminds me of Will Skelton with the size and frame that this man has, and certainly possesses the same power as Skelton as well. Joe Powell at number 9, Matt Tamua at 10, and then Ray Nu'u at number 12, with the man on the outside being Lucas Ripley. And also we have got there, can't wait for Friday next week, put your bucket hat on as well, says Henry Samuel. It is a little bit off to the side, but maybe it will come out in the later stages of the match. Vaihu out on the left wing, Callaway, like I mentioned, out on the right, and then Reece Hodge back from a suspension. He did actually get suspended for 1 week, but he is now back in the Rebels lineup, and he is going to be looking to slot back into where he was last week. So I believe, the week before that, Carter Gordon was actually 15, but now he is going to be down to the bench for this game. Looking through at this Brumbies side, and you'll notice there's a lot of Wallabies in this team. Scott Seo, Connor McKinnery, and then it will be Alan Alaratoa at number 3, Nick Frost and Tom Hooper making up the two locks. Rob Valentini, Jerome Brown, Pete Samu, probably one of the most physical loose forward trios that you will see in Super Rugby, those three, and they can certainly pack a bit of a punch in the breakdown. Nick White, Nola Lucio, going to be 9 and 10. Ure Samoni and Len Ikatel be in the midfield. Tom Wright, Jesse Mogg out on the wings, and then Tom Banks going to be slotting in there at number 15 for this game. Looking through also at the reserves in a short moment, and also we have got the, you know what is happening on Friday next week. I know that the Highlanders are playing Moana Pacifica, but I assume that's not what you're referring to. Assume there is something else on the cards. Is it your birthday, perhaps? There you are talking about at the moment. Mafu going to be there. Also, Edo Kalia. They're quite hard names to say. Well, Kylia, I believe it is, for the Rebels. And then Van Nick going to be there at 18. Ross Haylett-Petty, Richard Hardwick, Moses Sorovi, Carter Gordon, and then it is Tuna Mapaya, who is there at number 23. Looking through the Brumbies, it's Billy Pollard, James Slipper. Yeah, James Slipper. I don't know why I questioned that. Tom Ross also there. It will be Kennedy, Luke Rama, Ryan Lonergan, Rodney Iona, there, and then it'll be Fioi Satia, who is there at number 23. So this match only about 5 minutes away, although normally Australian games are a little bit later. They normally start about 5 minutes after they should, so it might be more than likely maybe around 10 minutes. Hopefully they are on time, though, for this matchup, as it does help very much in terms of the times that they will be finishing, because we have got the Six Nations tomorrow morning, which is going to be an early morning start. We will be starting a live stream at about probably quarter to 9, I think it is, for that Six Nations game between the Wales and the French. The Welsh and the French, I should say, for that one. But currently the Bunnings NPC, it has been heading up recently with a lot of good matches taking place. Speaking of matches, there are 3 more that were supposed to be happening tomorrow, but instead we do just get the 2. The Hurricanes versus Moana Pacifica game, that is postponed, but instead we still get Crusaders versus Chiefs, the rematch, a Super Rugby Aotearoa's final for 2021. The Reds, they will take on an unknown territory in the Fijian Rua, someone who they have not played yet in the competition, but we'll be thoroughly looking forward to getting a chance to run around the park with. Then the Waratahs, they will take on the Western Force on the Sunday. There are plenty of games that are taking place. Also, I should mention that this isn't the last week of Super Rugby. We've still got plenty more that will be coming up in the near future. And I believe the other one that I have got in terms of a stat sheet is actually where the games and also what games are taking place next week. And these are the games that will be taking place. Highlanders taking on Moana Pacifica, Brumbies and Reds. That's a rematch of Super Rugby AU's final. Fiji and Drua up against the Western Force. That'll be a good game to watch. The Brumbies actually in bright orange for this match as they are the away side. This is actually their first away game for them in this season. So they've had 3 home games back to back to back. Very lucky for the Brumbies in the pool. Hurricanes versus Chiefs also on that Saturday. And then Waratahs versus Rebels will be the final game of the Saturday night, followed by Crusaders versus Blues. That's going to be a weekend game. And I believe that they always do that for the Sunday because it does mean that the Six Nations goes all throughout that night. And then you got to stay up later to watch Crusaders versus Blues. So that will be what our plan will be for that one. And also my birthday is Friday next week, which I will turn 14 years old. If the Hurricanes game was not postponed, they'll be up to 3rd, I think. And AAMI, how do you think about a video? Or how do you think about the video? As Isle says, Brandon, is that the Geordie Barrett one, Brandon? Do let me know. Currently, they are just showing the reserves. No late changes for either side in this one, luckily, because for us here in New Zealand, we saw a couple late changes made, and that was due to positive cases popping up, such as the Bowden Barrett missing. Also, Nepal Lalala was not there. Sam Knock off the bench. Another player was out due to either injury or maybe a positive case. So currently, Super Rugby Australia, we haven't had any cancelled or postponed games. Yes, says Brandon. And so I didn't hear too much of Geordie Barrett, but I assume he was there in the background somewhere. But it did sound like a very good interview yourself. But they are just showing their Tamati Ioane there at number 8 for this game. He is a big man, and that is a very bright Brumbies kid. It sure is. I wonder how bright it will stay, though, when you've got the likes of Samu, Valetini, Alalatoa. They all like to get straight in the mud if there is some out there and pretty much turn their kit the normal colour, which will end up being a little bit of that maybe. Like, I mean, that's the thing. All you got to do is run over the sideline. You get the white strip on it and then just kind of roll in the mud and you got the brown that you normally have. And yes, there's Brandon also has Nihi Motascutta back for the Canes. I think he's in their squad, isn't he? But I don't know whether or not he has had any sign of game time or anything that looks close to his game time at this stage. I think he's still fighting a couple injuries. In fact, preseason, I think he got hit hard, landed on his back and actually hurt himself. So that might be why he hasn't shown up for the last little while. But Pete Samu, Tom Banks, also Lena Katau, all getting ready to go. And as a YouTuber, how do you feel YouTube as a platform and specifically live streaming, doing commentary? Without it, what will you be doing? And then it says coding. I feel like that's a great question, that if I said anything bad about YouTube, I might all of a sudden disappear. So I've got to be careful what I say. But overall, I mean, it's very convenient being able to do them on YouTube rather than something like Twitch. I haven't really learned too much about Twitch so far, but maybe in the future we will be able to do it up to 9 subscribers. I wonder who hit that subscribe button, Henry. Could have been maybe myself. Possibly. Who knows? Yeah, it was. It was me. But without what we would be doing, I'll probably just be doing a stock standard job of some sort, maybe an apprenticeship and some sort of thing, maybe an electrician or something like that. Rebels need to bounce back in this game. Says Fetch there. Currently now, Lena Katau and Irasamoni, they're going to be an important duo in that midfield. Thanks. Says Henry there. And now he is going to be ready to go for this match. And the Brumbies, if they don't win this one by 15, they would consider it kind of disappointing with where they are sitting on the table compared to the Rebels. We are just ticking over to 9:45, which means are the Australian team's going to be on time. I see Andrew Callaway. He'll be excited to get back out there for the Rebels. I remember seeing him really standing out in that game up against the Crusaders. And can you watch my new video tomorrow when you get up? As I see Sam Henry, I did actually watch one of them, but then I realized there wasn't any commentary or anything. So then I did kind of see what the result was. I believe that was one of your Football Manager one. I thought there was going to be some sort of commentary or something like that. Matt Phillip, he's going to be important for them. Minutes played so far in Super Rugby Pacific. He's played every single minute, and he plays his 50th game for the Rebels tonight. Tackling success of 90%. And how are you doing today, Hamish? I'm doing very well. Doing very well. Very busy, but very well. At the same time, will you do commentary for tomorrow, Pakistan versus Australia test match? And also, will you do all IPL matches commentary or not? As Al says, coding there with the angry question marks at the end. I would say not all IPL games, just because some of them will probably overlap with some sort of rugby, but I'm hoping to do a majority of them. Pakistan, Australia tomorrow, we won't get to do because it does overlap with Super Rugby that we have got on. We might get to do the last hour if I really push for it. We might be able to do the last hour of the day, but more than likely we will end up continuing the day from about day 3 onwards or somewhere around there. But Scott CEO, first start for the season for the Brumbies there, and I don't want my voice to be in it until I'm making my football challenges. Earlier says Henry Samuel, I should say, but now the game is going to be kicked off. The Brumbies up against the Western Force. Nick White puts it high there. It's actually the Rebels, I should say, rather than the Western Force. Matt Phillip taking it nicely. A little bit of a juggle forward, and it's a knock on, and the Brumbies now do end up getting themselves a scrum feed. It's not too happy there between Koba Seeloff and Matt Phillip. I think both of them tried to go for the same ball, and it did end up causing a few problems for them. And they won by Koba Seeloff. He won't be too keen on getting into the scrum this early on in the match, although he should be well warmed up. And Lee says, hi, says Ollie, welcome in, Lee. You're doing well, mate. But currently 30 seconds into this game between the Brumbies and the Rebels, and it should be a fast-paced game, I would think. The Brumbies will try and really up the tempo, see whether or not they can wear down on this other side. And I have a video for me and you. Do you want to talk about rugby as well, says Brandon? And that one in this chat is like a day. This is Jay. Welcome in, Jay. Hope you're doing well, mate. Now Nick White is going to be feeding that ball, and it's gone down in the front row. I think a little bit almost of an early push from the Brumbies, but they're going to be continuing. And my Dreamlings of it there as commentary, but it was not my voice, it's the game commentary. And there's our Sam Henry. But yeah, they did go quite early. It's surprising that it wasn't a free kick against them there on that far side for Alan Alatoa, who did make his way forward just a little bit too soon. But now scrum feed once again, Nick White. This could be a good set play opportunity. I know that Jesse Mogg will be lurking out on that left wing side. And do you, as I says Brandon there, I don't know. I feel like it's going to be the penalty to the Rebels that time. And they have done nicely, 30 metres out from the line. But normally, other than the live stream, my voice is pretty much gone each week. So that's probably my big problem at the moment. Like a podcast, says Brandon there as well. Nosaki Lads Reed wants to take Lee to the casino. And then also, when should I do my FIFA 18 goalkeeper career mode? It is up to you. I am not in charge of your channel. If you want to do it, you do it. And I feel like that's a good way of looking at YouTube. Don't look at it for the views. Don't look at it for the subscribers. Don't look at it for the money. Look at it because you want to do it rather than because you want to get famous off it. I feel like it's great advice. And now rolling the ball back nicely. Powell off to Matamua. Flat run forth from Reinu'u. Just hit it up nicely. Now Tamati Ioane. And it just drives straight over the top of the Brumbies defense. And currently, I mean, that's the thing. The Rebels need to start this match well. They've got the advantage here as well. It's a nice attacking run. Pete Samu able to drag him down. Powell now going across to Jordan Ulisi. They'll be aiming for his rib cage, I should say. They know how vulnerable it is from the past couple of weeks. Powell fires it back to Tamua just a little bit too far behind him. Reece Hodge slips. He is back out there. They're saying no advantage. We're going back for the penalty. Now, Hodge will have the distance if they do want the early 3 for the Rebels, although you would say they were a little bit too susceptible to taking the 3 in Super Rugby AU 2021. So I think that will be something that they need to make sure in Super Rugby 2022 they do not allow to happen. Reece Hodge having a long chat. They're going to be going for the 3. Now, the big thing here for Hodge is he needs to get this kick over. If he misses it, then it pretty much blows that opportunity for the Rebels. But Jordan Ulisi, who was that? It was Matt Phillip who charged up there, and everyone is playing God in Super Rugby Pacific as on there. And also, I have a shut down my shows because of COVID. As well, and there says Brandon, and also if I get a silver play bottom from YouTube, then I'll make a video on it. Here's Henry Samuel. So that's 100,000 subscribers, isn't it? That is a big number indeed. Currently now, Reece Hodge going to be lining up 45 metres out from the line. And now, we know he's got the distance, Hodge, but it's whether or not the accuracy is also there for Hodge. After not playing last week, you would think that the rust probably is a minimum at this point in time, just because he's a very experienced player. Why is the number 23 on his sleeve? Is that something to do with a sponsor? Or is that just a random number? And also come on Rebels as well, says Joseph there. They're lining it up. Hodge, it's got the distance by miles. Could have kicked it another 10 if he needed to. It's away to the left. So that one is going to be missing. And the early points opportunity for the Rebels just doesn't quite work out. Make a vlog when you get a silver play button. Will you make a small vlog as well, says Henry? I think we would. If we were at 100,000 subscribers, I feel like we would have to do some sort of video around it. And see you later, says Fish there for that one. And we'll see you later on. But the bright orange kit of the Brumbies is certainly standing out here for round 4. This is the first time we've seen them away. I like YouTube because I want to do for fun and money when I feel like, as there's Brandon Rees-Hodge attacking well. Leonicatau getting a bit of a strip there. Andrew Callaway picks the ball up first. Gary for him getting wrestled down by his Wallabies teammate in that back line. And Ikatau now driving forward. Tamati Ioane just using that size and strength that man possesses. So he always makes meters. Joe Powell going to the short side. Skip pass out to Michael Wells. Home forward nicely. Jesse Mogg. Okay, that's going to be the advantage. Joe Powell had his ankle taken out, and I believe Jesse Mogg was offside. He does wrestle him into touch as well. A little bit of a battle there between those two. Oh, words exchanged as well. So Jesse Mogg not too happy with Joe Powell right. Do they go for touch here? Or do they go for the 3? I think they'll go for touch this time. The Rebels have decided it's the better option. I would have thought he's done well, Rees-Hodge, although I thought they would have gone with a left footer for that one. Jesse Mogg, he had to wait till he was back in. Then he yanks down Joe Powell. And those two, I don't think that's the last time we get to see those two go head-to-head throughout this match. I have a podcast with me and my Zach in there as well. There's Brandon, but this one is now going to be going forward in the line-out drive for the Rebels. No, instead taking it quickly. And now good run forward from Tamati Ioane, met by Rob Valentini. That is a lot of man coming together there. The old player not going to be able to roll away, and he didn't have to because they did still have their hands on the ball, and it's great maul defense from the Brumbies, and they have been able to get themselves the early scrum, only 10 metres out from their line, but Tamati Ioane is angry with that one. He did charge very nicely, but Rob Valentini getting involved. I was surprised, that it was called as a maul because he got held up. And then, the knees were just off the ground. It was actually Rob Valentini who was able to keep them straight, but game for draw tomorrow. He had a huge game up against the Reds for that matchup. So hopefully it will be a decent matchup. If you combine my old channel and my new channel together, I have 42 subscribers as well. And also Zach from like Rugby Sevens game. The top one is Fiji. There's Brandon there as well. But yeah, the draw taking on the Reds for that matchup. It's going to be an awesome one. And it's going to be the last game of the evening. And one licked the sun, and it tasted like the number yellow as well. This is Jay. Currently, penalty once again to the Brumbies. I guess score predictions for this one as well. What you thinking, Jay? Who's winning? I think I know who you'll say will be winning it in terms of the Brumbies. But how many are they winning it by? Probably the better question for this one. Plenty of sport. And do you got a question for Zach as well? I guess, why does he spell his name Z-A-C-K? It's a very good question. Rees-Hodge taking it nicely. Andrew Callaway now running this one back, puts the kick up high, and Hodges chasing after it. I'll line it up. Nick White, little bit of a guarding line there. I think the referee would have spotted it. He did he tried to ankle trip someone as well there to break his way through. So Nick White currently not enjoying a bit of the extra pressure. Why do I smell cardboard? I don't know. It smells like not burning cardboard, but just like cardboard, as if like there's cardboard somewhere. There is a cardboard box in the background, so maybe that is why. Well, of course, not at the stadium. Matt Tamua runs straight at Valentini, dragged down nicely. Now Powell goes back across. Jordan Ulisi, tackled by Seo, trying to get straight in there to turn over the ball. It was loose, but it is still on the side of the home side. The Rebels were at AAMI Park for this game. Hodge gets driven backwards by Leonicatau, who really brings a physical presence to the midfielder. You like that name, I can tell you that. As says Brandon, and it's going to be the little knock on from the Rebels. Now, something we've seen from them recently is handling errors and penalties against them. They can put those two together. They're going to be a dangerous side, but that was Josh Canham who just got it a little bit wrong with the handling error. Jordan Ulisi off to Matt Tamua. It was flat ball. Oh, no, he actually tried to link up with Cameron Orr there. I'm still trying to decide. We're currently sitting 9:55 p.m. I kind of want to stay up till the Six Nations, but then I also feel like sleeping after this game is probably the better option of the two, rather than staying up till a random hour of the morning. So I might do that. But then if I stay up, then I can also do Sharks versus Scarlets, which is earlier. But then if my voice disappears, then I can't do too many. So it's a tricky one in terms of the decision making. And Yossi's Betty Wagon, welcome into the live stream, mate. Hope you're doing well currently in this game. We are sitting a total of 9 minutes in, and the possession's been the Rebels 100%. I'm not sure where they got that number from. Surely we've had some phases for the Brumbies. And also, hey, Paddy Wagon. See enough about there as well. Currently now, Tom Banks. And how's everyone today? A like and sub to the man. Cheers, Paddy. And we are getting closer and closer to the 10,000 subscribers currently. So anyone who is new, be sure to leave a like and subscribe. We have got there. I am RY, maybe, I think it is. And also, hi, mate, first time here. Really appreciate you doing the commentary. And thank you very much. We have got every game of Super Rugby Pacific, every game of the Six Nations as well. We'll be covering on the channel. We've got plenty more rugby and also cricket coming up. Be sure to stick around, but that one's going in nicely, stolen by the Rebels. No, it still bounces up. Now it's a knock on from Hardwick. This is just the ball going all over the place. The referee blows the whistle. Who knocked it on first? Okay, it was the Brumbies who had the first initial knock on. Then it was the Rebels. Then it was the Brumbies. Then it was the Rebels. So they're going for the scrum feed in favour of the Rebels. Hello, Nov Mum as well, says Paddy. Okay, he's gone early, then collapsed. It's a conversation Jordan Ulysses and the referee is having, but I know that he's had something in that midsection / kind of rib cage somewhere around there that has been really causing him troubles, and it seems like Lenikatau might be getting some strapping on the ankle. Is he all right? And also, it's just me, your live stream is playing up, says Brandon. That is a good question. I guess I'll have to wait and see what everyone else says just because I can't currently see it. It doesn't say that it's like having a Wi-Fi issue for me, so it's hard to tell. Lenikatau 2022, 4 games, 1 try, 15 carries, 56 carry meters, and 5 tackle busts. He's been phenomenal throughout the season, and it looks like he's happy with his strapping. And he is going to be continuing. He didn't want to take too long. Gets back to his feet, and now they will be rearing to go. I don't believe it's raining there currently, which is good to see because they've had a huge amount of rain in Australia as of late. And also, amateur live stream is a bit messed up as well in there. And also, just find this end. Says Nov Mum for that one. So it's a bit of a 50-50. I mean, I could check it, but I feel like if it's anything like last time, I believe Paddy said that it was messed up when it wasn't, just to do it to see me check it. I think it was. So we'll wait and see how it goes. Hopefully it is running relatively smoothly. And also come on the Mighty Brumbies. And it says David the Mod, and he also has the Kieran emoji. I do have Kieran away from the corner. I feel like I'm going to have to put him back up there so that you guys can see him. One moment. We all go like this, and that. There we go. And we will go like that and that. There we go. That's a good push there from the Brumbies, but the Rebels still hang on to the ball just for themselves. Currently 42 metres out. Power goes back to Matt Tamua. Good run for, I believe that was Rain Nu'u trying to pierce his way through the offside. Offside, that was a cricket term. Through the near side of the field, I should say. Also, bloody hell, I thought the game was starting at 10 sharp. Says Sebastian. I think it's the NRL, isn't it? That is starting at 10:05. But this game, you haven't really missed a huge amount. Few handling errors, missed kick from Reece Hodge, and a few penalties at this stage. And also, okay, it was just my phone. And there says Brandon. Also, hi, Paddy Wagon. Says David the Mod there. But that's going to be another penalty, 45 metres out here. Right. Does he go for the 45 again? Okay, they are kicking for the corner here, the Rebels. They know that 3-pointers may not quite be enough to be able to get themselves the win. Kicked into Dutch, like they're saying. It's been all the Rebels. They've probably had about 90% possession so far throughout this match. But the Brumbies, they have not conceded any points. That was a very awkward fall for Vaihu there, who got bent over in a weird way. And his whole body just kind of contorted. Hope he's got a flexible spine, because if he doesn't, then that one will leave a mark. And assume it's clear from where I am as well. Here's David the Mod there. Jordan Ulysses throwing this ball. No, he doesn't. Oh, it's a free kick to the Brumbies. They messed up the call. The last thing the Rebels wanted there, because they turned down the 3 points. And Jordan Ulysses not too happy with that one. They just seem to get a little bit muddled up. Okay, you don't have to tap it. Just make sure you kick it from inside of the line is there for the comment from the referee. But 13 minutes into this game currently. And Tom Banks kicks it downfield, and it has gone into touch. Now, I believe it is a line out for the Rebels. Okay, so Matt Phillip, I think, ended up marching his way forward just a little bit earlier than anticipated. Matt Tamua now flat ball off the Rain Nu'u. And In fact, no, that's going to be the number 13 for this one, which is Lucas Ripley. It's just getting too wide for me as I see Paddy Wagon, and I'm in Auckland right now, Sam, at my dad's. So that's going to be another knock-on from Tamati Ioane. We've had plenty of knock-ons so far throughout the early stages of this game. 3 handling errors against the Rebels, 1 against the Brumbies. Right. Surely we're going to try in the first half. I feel like with that other game going 90 minutes, like I'm still on the edge of my seat after that one, so I'm expecting a fast start between these two sides. Tamati Ioane, he ended up just putting that ball down. Who does he look like? He actually does look like Will Skelton. As I ask you at Sky, are you at Sky City playing Texas Hold'em? As I says David, and yes, the Broncos versus Rabbitohs game kickoff in 5. I think Blazers at the game. Says Sebastian. So that will be an exciting one to be able to see, because that will be his first game in a long time, won't it? For being able to actually be there. So that will be an awesome experience. Now putting the ball in, Nick White. Rolling the ball back. Still going to be available for them. Now going off the back, Pete Samu. Off now to Nick White on the outside. Tom Banks linking up with the other Tom. And it is Tom Wright taken out low around the ankles. Still available. Pete Samu gets his hands on the ball. Joe Powell's done extremely well to keep himself up there. That looked like it was just going for the knees. He's got back up and gone again. And now ball on the inside from Hooper. Offload off to the Rebels. Or sorry, it was actually Jerome Brown, number 7. We had that one now going out to the winger. Callaway, no, instead. First taking the carry there for the number 5 in this one, which was Tom Hooper. They look so weird and orange for this match. And also, yes, I'm at my friend's house, says Brandon. Rob Valentini getting the legs, driving, reaches out. You can't stop him, Rob Valentini. The bulldozer with the funky hairdo has been able to score the try for the Brumbies. And that is the first one of the match, and perhaps not the last for Rob Valentini. Just leg drive strength right there. And it is Rob Valentini. Did he score the first try of the match last week as well? Not too sure, but we will have a check of that stat in a short moment. But the first try is scored by Rob Valentini. I'm going to see what I can find here for it. Where are we? Brumbie. He did. He scored in the 6th minute last week. So he scored first try of 2 matches in a row. And also I have enough energy to watch my Chiefs play tomorrow. Says Nov Mum. And I will be wearing the Chiefs kit. I will give you that little extra bit of support for them. As they're certainly going to need it up against the Crusaders, who have stacked their backline, stacked their fullback, but the Chiefs aren't looking too bad themselves for that game. But Rob Valentini broke through 2 tackles and just broke through an old bolt. And there's have a good night, little buddy. Says that David the Mod down. I see that the Blues had a very good second half, says Patty. They did. First half, not one that they'll want to remember, but second half, definitely a lot better for them. Rob Valentini, he's just making a bit of a trend of scoring the first try of the match. And also we have got the Rob Valentini try scorer number 8, just like Don Brandt. And there says Sebastian. And yeah, certainly going to be one of the keys for the Wallabies, I would think, going forward out of that number 8 jersey. Actually, he might be 6 for this game, but he still transitions between the two effortlessly, such as Alex Don Brandt and Simmons as well. They both like playing a little bit of blindside flanker, don't they, when they need to. And also one says Brandon for that one. But Rob Valentini scores the try. And now 16 minutes into the game, 17-0. Oh, sorry, that's a lie, 7-0. And it wasn't Noah Lalicio was able to get that kick over. We'll try my best to keep you guys updated with the NRL and also man of the match from the Blues game. I don't know who officially got it, but I would have given it to either Plumtree or Perifeta for that match. I feel like it could have been Perifeta just because he was phenomenal in that matchup. And also I've been a Chiefs supporter for ages. They've had some great lineups. And there says David the Mod. And of course, one of the Chiefs players or ex-Chiefs players going to be in action on Sunday, Richard Kahui, playing for the Western Force. And that game, they will be up against the Waratahs. That's going into touch. It is a good kick downfield. Now 41 meters out, it will be the line out here for the Rebels. And that's the thing. We mentioned about it as well. More position for the Rebels only takes 1 play. And Don Brandt always plays it 8. I haven't seen him as a flanker yet. Oh, is Simmons the one who does slot in at 6? Who was the one that Eddie decided he wanted to have as flanker? Because, I mean, he wanted to have Tom Curry, who was a flanker, as number 8. So I feel like even if he did have someone differently, he was probably having them around the wrong way. Can show me who play on the team as well. It says, Brandon, we will put up the lineups. Right now, we will go like this. We'll have to quickly remove Kieran from the top corner just because he will overlap with them a little bit. But the lineup here, this is the Rebels side. So Callaway back in that Rebels lineup. We haven't really seen him with the ball as of yet. I think he's touched it once, but Cameron Orr not happy with that one. Punching the ground a few times. You don't want to do that too often, or else you end up breaking your hand. A handling error is 4 for the Rebels, 1 for the Brumbies, and also total passes 37 for the Rebels compared to the 11 that we received for the Brumbies. Another yellow. Tamati Ioane, he will be another one to watch out for the Rebels. In this game, though, for the Brumbies, Rob Valentini at 6 has scored himself the try. Also, it will be Pete Samu in that loose forward trio. The scrum going down at the moment for the Brumbies. And also, I'm looking through at that midfield. Simone Ikatau, and then out on the wing, Tom Wright and Tom Banks. A couple of Toms and there, Tom, just like the drum. And they are going to be just breaking into that defensive line as often as possible. See whether or not they can cause a little bit of mayhem, but that's going to be now the advantage for the Brumbies. Sitting 40 metres out from their own line. It goes back for the penalty. I will always support the Chiefs, win, lose, or draw. There's Novmum, and I feel like that's the perfect example of like a true fan is even if the team are going terrible, the fact that you still stick by them like through thick and thin. I guess you could say that on the team too, as us says Brandon, but currently 19 and a half minutes through this game. And it will be Tom Banks kicking this one for touch. The number 15, who had a lot of running meters last year for Super Rugby AU, Tom Curry, Sam Simmons. Yeah, I think both of them are just loose forwards. No specific position, says Sebastian there. So hopefully, I mean, I feel like Eddie's just going to try and troll people. And for the Six Nations, probably stop playing Dom Brandt at 8 and just stick him somewhere where no one's... He'll put him at lock and just test the water, see if anyone gets like annoyed with him playing. Like, that's the thing. Dom Brandt at lock will probably still go all right, but like, you probably don't want him there. You want him at number 8. Like, White going across with Rob Valentini once again, just breaking tackles. His legs do keep on driving until you stop the Malinalatoa and Alicio inside border time. Right, nicely done here by the Brumbies with some good build-up play. Now out. Nick White passes the bag. That's going to be knocked off by Noah Lalicio. Not the best pass to him, and also gets crushed a little bit for his troubles. And I think they were pretty bad back in the early days. Now they're a powerhouse and year none of the field weather stuff. And there says Novmum. Currently now 25 metres out from their own line. The Rebels will have themselves their scrum feed. So a lot of handling errors throughout this game. And I don't believe it's slippery out there. Maybe a little bit of dew. Or just some bad passing. Might have been the case for that one. I've yawned like 3 times during this match already, which is not an ideal start. So I guess I've answered my own question in terms of whether or not I'm going to stay up all night and then do the Six Nations, then go to bed. But, yeah, it is the case. So instead, we do it the other way around and go to sleep. And someone on YouTube is being naughty and showing the Broncos versus Rabbitohs game, see how long it lasts. And there says Jay Hayes. I mean, that's the thing. It's hard to tell, isn't it? For certain things. I remember South Africa versus New Zealand, the big All Blacks and Springbok match. Someone was doing it on YouTube for like half the match and YouTube didn't really care. And then it got to a point how they're like, we should probably take this down. And so I think it just depends on who's lurking for YouTube and also for the NRL in terms of who's watching out for copyright. But now passing it back to Tom Wright, taking big contact there by Tamati Ioane. And also it was Jono Wells. That's a lie. He's a cricketer. It was Micah Wells. Little flick out the back there from Noah Lalicio. Another flick from Simone, and now Tom Banks going for the kick of my line, playing for a bit of territory here. It's bouncing nicely, favorably. And it does go to Reece Hodges, dragged down by Jerome Brown, only a few metres out from their own line here, the Rebels. And they've got the advantage against them, do they? No. Okay, no advantage against the Brumbies there. I thought the referee was putting his arm out. And also there was a channel that got away with last season's grand final, Penrith versus Rabbitohs, the whole game. As I said, Sebastian. And it's weird because like we've been copyright striked for having a live stream set up that we weren't showing the game and it was going to be commentary. And we got a copyright strike for using copyrighted material before it started for using the competition name they said it was. I was a Kiwi lads, I know the comments was off because I was making some music and some links for my old video and some chapters. I says Brandon there and also Unreal. A7 says Jay. Yeah, it seems like they kind of slightly pick and choose a little bit. But now Nick White, good pressure on him, was knocked down, and it was deliberate. Are they saying? No, it might have just been a knock on Noah Lalicio, really running into no space out there. Nick White, ball on the inside to Alan Alatoa, finds the offload as well. And now the big man, Nick Frost, trying to get himself going forward a little bit further. In fact, it was Tom Hooper He's wearing the bright red headgear to go with the bright orange shirt. Pass back. This time it's Nick Frost that was forward, though. And it is going to be the scrum feed. Now, but Tom Wright did just drift forward out of his hands to Nick Frost, that they were almost through again here for the Brumbies. They're working hard in the early stages of this match. A good inside ball. Alatoa to go off to Tom Hooper. I believe this one was a massive opportunity. What is going on? So we have got this after license. Can you just comment? As I says Brandon there, I'm probably going to go straight to bed after the live stream, to be honest. Probably try and get myself around 8 hours or so before I do end up waking up for the Six Nations. Have you watched the Norman Maxwell interview? Says David Lamont to Jay. That one, but Rob Valentini might have a shoulder injury here. That is not what they want. That man's trying to pull on the arm of Valentini. And also, we have the Amish Road today. Tomorrow, Curry Cup game also played. I don't believe they've got the Curry Cup, but they've got the URC, which is going to be there. So the URC game, Sharks taking on the Scarlets. Also, midway through the next night, it is going to be the match between the Bulls and Munster. I was like, stop it, you're making me tired. As I was drinking down under, I will try my best to stop yawning, because of course you have got a truck to drive more than likely very soon. I haven't double David post the link in Discord, mate. And I'll watch it later tonight. And there it says Jay. Yeah, I'm going to do this. Okay. Any more yawns? And I'll put on the... No, I won't put on the bucket hat. We need a few more, 5 more yawns, and I'll put on the bucket hat. But hopefully that doesn't happen. G'day, trucking. Says Jay, they have 22 meters out from the line now. And it is going to be 23.5 minutes through this game. Still pretty even between the two sides. Although the Rebels, it's gone from them having all the position in the first 10 to 15 minutes to now the Brumbies being really in the box seat for the next little while. He's got the ball. Joe Powell does. As I know, not till Sunday. Oh, so you get a bit of a time off. Oh, that is good news for yourself. What are you going to do with yourself for the weekend? Or I guess now and tomorrow. What do you got planned? You got anything special? And then getting up and go as well. And also Jay with the thumbs up there, firing it back. And it's going to be Reece Hodge now kicking it right down the middle of the field. He's got a massive boot on him. It's gone straight down to Tom Banks, 2 men fighting for that fullback position in the Wallaby squad. And in their lineup, that one's going to be hit nicely backwards. Nick White got hold of that one. Noah Lalicio kicks it. Oh, a little bit charged down, I think it was. It ended up hitting the fingers of one of the Rebels players, so he was unable to be able to do that one. And Sleep as well, so he's tracking down under. That is smart. That is quite smart. That one, Tom Wright just ankle tapped there on the halfway line for the Brumbies. Looked like he went down awkwardly. Is he all right? Is he all right? Yeah, he is. He is getting back up on holidays in Upper Canberra. Or Coomera trucking as well. I just taking cover as well. Says Jay there. That's bounced up nice. There seems to be a bit of a spring or a trampoline or something in that far side of the park, because every time it bounces, it just sits up very nicely. Andrew Callaway does end up fielding that one, / catching that one. I keep on using some cricket terms thrown in there every once in a while. I guess that's what happens when you do a little bit of the ones, because we've got Pakistan versus Australia coming up. Hopefully it's going to be a good match, a better one than the first, because it seemed like a draw every day of the week. That one, as much as I wanted it to not be a draw, it was just always going to be a draw. That was an awkward landing there for the youngster Josh Canham, firing it back across Irasamoni. Offload to Ikitau now. He looks like he's running with a limp here, which doesn't look too great for him. Hopefully he is going to be all right to continue for a little bit longer. And in this matchup, going back across now 45 meters out from the line, Nick Frost. He's dropped that one. It went backwards, I think they have said. So it's still available for Nick White. Jay, I probably would, so it's struck in there. Now going short side, Tom Banks. Pearson straight through Tom Banks. Ball on the inside. Lena Cattell gets it. And that's going to be the try for the Brumbies. And they get another one. It looked like a flat pass at the end, but I don't believe they will be checking this one. And Irasamone was able to nicely set that one up. Then it was Tom Banks. Then it went to Lena Ikitau. Ikitau, I believe it is. Ikitau. And that is in the 26th minute that he was able to score. That's a great ball out of the back line. And then Banks breaking a couple of tackles, making a dangerous Amish Pro New Zealand women's team last night win against India Women's by 62 runs. Now White Ferns are back on track 3-on-2. Games 1 and 4 points. So they're doing very nicely currently for the Black Ferns, and hopefully they can continue, the White Ferns. Hopefully they continue that in the future, and we do get to see them make it through to the semi-final, quarter-final stages as well. It was nicely done by Len Ikatel. And like I mentioned, he's got a sore ankle, so we don't know how much longer he's going to be out on the field for, but he seemed to be moving all right for that one. And I was like, hey, how you been, brother? And there says, I've been pretty well, other than my voice is starting to sound a little bit croaky for this one. So hopefully it does stay for the next, how many hours? Probably like 30 hours of live streams. I'll be happy if it stays for all of those other live streams. And while she needs to launch mode every single week, a good start, a side business Truckins mowing. As on there says, Jay Hayes, who mows, was it Trucking mows your lawns or you mow his lawns? I think Trucking mows your lawns, doesn't he? From the past. Is that the right order? Who mows whose lawns? Or do you mow each other's lawns just for something different, new scenery? Kind of like one each day or one each week type thing. So I'm between them. That's not a good strike of the ball, unfortunately, for Noel Alessio. And the score now sitting 12-0 to the Brumbies. 27 minutes into this game. It was a good attack and run. The end from Jesse Mogg. That was a phenomenal offload that he did get through. And super close to 10K. We are getting very close. I'm going to be on more Brandon's. You can't see my comments. As on there says Brandon, I'll say lol. Says Jay Hayes for that one. I know it's one of the ways around. Someone mows someone's lawn. George wants to start a lawn mowing service. He does silage for a living. They got the big gear. I don't know how that would go in town. And now Tom Banks, once again, piercing the line, not able to find the offload that time. And it's a penalty to the Rebels. Who was that? Who ended up falling over? I think it was Tom Banks, maybe, and Truckin cuts everyone's grass. As on there says Jay, that smiley face at the end makes me slightly concerned because it seems like it's friendly, but I feel like it also means something else other than cutting everyone's grass. You know, could have a second meaning to it, perhaps. Matt Tamua looks like he's going to be kicking it for the touchline now for the Rebels. I'm just looking through at their lineup. Oh, they're taking the 3. Why are they doing that? I wouldn't have taken the 3 there if I was the Rebels, just because they've taken the 3 in past seasons, and that's got them last place, other than the Waratahs, who are actually above them in this year. But the Waratahs have been going very good for this one. The New South Wales Waratahs, that is. But you don't win games that are up against like a team that's going to be top contenders if you take 3 points. And the other side of it is Matt Tamua, yes, he'd like to get this one over, but if he misses, that makes it even worse. So for his sake, I hope this goes over, but I don't know whether it will or not. It also must be a euphemism. Okay, he has got that one over, so they at least got some points there. It's now going to be 12 points to 3, and also I just injured my ACL in second basketball again the other night. I was so devastated. So is it, what type of injury? Is it torn or is it pulled, or what type have you got? But yeah, ACLs are dangerous ones. And Jay, last I'd seen, I think she is on the move as well. She's striking down under also Irish Road. Which season is you most likely rainy, sunny, hot season or winter season? Probably more. I mean, we're supposed to be in like summer or just past summer, and it's still like, it's pretty rainy at the moment. So it just depends. Normally in New Zealand, it's very common to go from like 25 degrees to 12 degrees the next day, back up to 27 or something the day after that. Like it just kind of goes like that, back and forth. But we get quite a bit of rain, which I mean is good for the crops, but not so good if you do want to do outdoor activities that don't want rain, such as, what's an outdoor activity? That's a hard fall for Tom Banks. He's put the ball down and it's a double blow of the whistle. I think Vaihu ended up taking him out in the air. Could be a yellow card. Vaihu, he does apologise for that one. I just came in and I heard you say 30 hours of live stream, bloody hell. Says Flesh, and yeah, we have got plenty coming up for this weekend. We have got the Six Nations. We've got all the Super Rugby games. We've got Pakistan versus Australia. Probably some URC scattered throughout there as well in the middle of the night. Who knows, maybe a little bit of the Premiership as well. So Tom Banks, he went up for it. Vaihu, he wasn't looking up, wasn't looking for eyes to the ball. I think this could be minimum penalty. At worst, I would say it's a yellow. But Glenn Vaihu just went for the man, unfortunately, for him. Morning Flesh, and there is us, Sebastian. They won but 30 minutes into this game. I think Vaihu's going to go for a little trip to the sin bin for the rest of this first half. Oh, it's a hard landing there for Tom Banks. Okay, so they've said yellow. It looks like everyone's in agreement at this point. Vaihu does make his way off there. He does say sorry to Dom Banks as he makes his way off Glenn Vaihu, but he will have the next 10 minutes to think about what he done in Broncos game. Just got caught as on this today. They just got taken down. I mean, it would have been nice while it lasted. Do you know what the channel name was, Jay? Was it the same one as the one that did the final? It was Irish New Zealand versus Netherlands when the tour started. I think it's getting relatively close, in fact. I think it's next weekend or the weekend after. I think it's 25th of March, actually. So I'm going to correct myself. It's a couple more. 25th of March, somewhere around there, is when it will be taking place for Netherlands versus New Zealand. They've got themselves another advantage there for the Brumbies. And this is their time to really be able to shine quite nicely. Give themselves some big points on the board. Nick White has his jersey held on to. That one now going back across Irasimone. Flat ball that looked close to Ford. It was Ford. And also name shame them in the chat. There's Sebastian there. But yeah, I feel like it's a weird one, isn't it? Like YouTube, like I mentioned about it one other time, how I got copyright claim for my voice as well, which is like, it's so weird. Definitely because they were a YouTube channel from Canada and the US. It's like my voice, I don't sound Canadian or American. So how do you find the interchange of it, or the interlock? And also XSplit was the channel name, and also his feed is now a black screen, says Jay. Or although if it's a black screen, maybe so it hasn't come up saying this channel was copyright struck by such and such, because normally it comes up with saying like such and such has copyright struck them. So maybe he's just turned it off for now to save his buttocks a little bit more, and then he will put it back on a bit later on, maybe. Now, 32 minutes in, and the Brumbies only a few meters out. Pete Samu puts the ball in. Jerome Brown now off to Tom Wright. He's dropped the ball. It's just slipped out of the hands, and now a little bit loose on the ground. It's going back tough luck for Caleb Clark today. Yeah, did end up with not just one disallowed try, but then also he did blow a golden opportunity in the early stages, how he was going to be able to run in the try. But Aaron Smith just getting a little tap on that ball. Some just black screen, can't see the game. We can still hear the commentary. As I says, Jay, so yeah, he might have decided it was too risky to still have the game. I assume the chat would be going absolutely crazy at him at the moment. Unlikely. I'm going to have a look just for fun. Wrong button. Well, we have got another scrum reset. We've got plenty of scrum resets coming. This one more. We go. I think I'm in the wrong place. I've got like a heap of like YouTube recommended ones, like as in like fancy. That looks like a burner account, possibly. Now that one's going up, and it is going to be the far side that did end up with a little bit of a problem. So because of it, they will end up going back down for another scrum feed. But this uses up time of the yellow card for the Rebels, so it's not the end of the world, but only a few meters out from the line. I believe it will be. Oh, okay. My brain's saying if the Brumbies win this, I'd love to see them go for a scrum just to see Pete Samu go to that far side, because if they get a big enough push, they haven't actually got anyone up that top side of the field. I think Matt Tamua and also Andrew Callaway might be lurking to try and cover it. In fact, no, it's just Matt Tamua. His defense is sometimes there, but now it will be passed back. Good run forward from Ray Nu'u as the crash ball receiver. Straight on it, though. Has he got the turnover? He does indeed. And he does end up getting it for a side. Who was it? It was the Muller man himself, Jerome Brown, has been able to get straight in there and won that penalty. So now I assume they'll kick it for touch, but I'd like to see a scrum. For some reason, I want to see a scrum. I want to see Pete Samu score a try. I feel like that's going to be the one wish that I have for this first half, is Pete Samu to score, because we've seen Rob Valentini get plenty of the action recently. They've gone the scrum. Sorry, that was a very weird voice, but I got all excited for that one. Currently now it is going to be the scrum feed about 20 meters out. Probably not likely for him to score from here, seeing as it's quite far out, but they've got the man advantage in the back line. So you're looking at a Tom Banks or a Tom Wright or maybe another Tom in the team. I don't think they've got too many other than Tom Ross. I think he's off the bench at the later stage. And also looked at it. Says Betty Wagon there as well. Currently 35 minutes through this game. 3 scrum penalties against the Rebels. And it was a big push from the Brumbies there to be able to get themselves the penalty And then, oh, sorry, it was actually not the penalty from the push in the scrum. It was the penalty from gripping onto that ball for Jerome Brown. Big push here from the Brumbies. I'd like to think they'll get themselves an advantage. Now Pete Samu passes it off to Nick White. Looks like he wants to snipe himself. He's passed it wide out to Tom Wright. And it's Matt Tamua saying that may have drifted forward, I should say. They've already got the bonus point if Tom Wright has scored that one. And what is a brilliant try. Okay, they're just going to be checking this one. Just to make sure that it did end up going back with Matt Tamua rather than trying to make the tackle just where that's gone forward. And also what happened to the Rebels team commentator as well. They just seem to have gone badly. Unfortunately, it's just something's clicked wrong. I would say they went backwards. And also tier 8 to 9 months. Oh, so that's going to be a very long time. But Nick White, I would say that that's a fine pass. And that is going to be the third try of the match. And he will be on soon. So there's a batty wagon for that one as well. But the Rebels, they are going to be under a huge amount of pressure here for the rest of this first half. They're already down to 14. It just goes from bad to worse for them because Tom Wright's been able to get himself a nice meat pie out on the wing. I feel like that was as Australian as I've ever sounded. Tom Wright scores it, and he has been able to get the third try of the match for the Brumbies now as they continue to build themselves a bit more of a lead. They just continue scoring in this one. Now, Noel Alessio, important kick for him from the touchline. This is an angle that Stephen Petafeta absolutely loves. Noel Alessio misses it by hitting the post on the left-hand side. Everyone loves that left-hand post for some reason throughout Super Rugby Pacific, but the score will remain at 37 minutes gone, 17 points to 3 in favour of the Brumbies, and 3 minutes left of the yellow card of the player for the Rebels, which was... Who got the yellow card? Vaihu got it. Everyone should train every day now and pump up now. Here's Joseph there. And yeah, it just seems like something's not quite clicking for them. It is good that they've got Andrew Callaway back. They've also got Rob Leota, who will be coming back in the near future. I believe he's either got an injury or just getting a little bit of time off. Now currently 38 minutes in. It's a good clearance from Nick White. It's very good with the kicks downfield, and now 50 meters out from their own line here. It is going to be the Rebels throwing it to the front, straight into the hands of Michael Wells. Offloads back to Powell. Andrew Callaway, first receiver. A nice drive forward for them. And Andrew Callaway, anywhere you slot him into the back line, he can certainly have an impact. This is his first game, though. That's a little knock on from the Rebels. And now it does mean that they are going to have themselves another scrum feed for the Brumbies. Everything that could go wrong has gone wrong at the moment for the Rebels, whether that is handling errors, whether it is penalties against them. And all of this failure came against the Aussie teams. Imagine how the Rebels will go if they have to face the Kiwi sides. Although it goes back to that thing as well. For some reason, some sides that should lose just step up. And I don't know what it is. I feel like it is going to be the case, though, for them. But some of those sides, they just have moments where you think, geez, this isn't the same side we've seen all season. So I'm hoping the Rebels will be similar to that and they can really push some of the New Zealand sides, or else that points differential won't look that great, I wouldn't think. And I was like, so I'm devastated. I just got back into playing sport as well, says Kyle. So yeah, that sounds going to be a very tricky one. But make sure you do follow all the advice in terms of how to recover it, because I know with ACLs and all of those type of ones, with ligaments, if you don't follow the instructions, you can get yourself some serious, lifetime, kind of injury repercussions from it. That was flat from Frost, very flat. It's looking like it's a good temperature. All the Seagulls are around and about. They're trying to make tackles on Pete Samu as well here. He drives his way up to the 22 now, offloaded back nicely. Got to attack and run. There's another advantage, $100 on the Rebels against the Hurricanes then. There's Sebastian, could be worth a crack. Maybe, maybe not. No, don't do that yet. We'll see who the sides are going to have for the match before we put massive bets on. Valentini drops it backwards. Still going to be play on, and now they've lost a lot of meterage. Going back for the penalty, currently 22 meters out. And it's going to be a good opportunity. I wouldn't go for the 3. You've got 30 seconds with 14 men out on the field. You might as well make the most of it and kick it for the corner. That's what I would do. But I'm not the coach. I'm not the captain. But if I was, we would be going for the corner right now, or the scrum. Who do they go for? What do they do here? They are kicking it for the corner. I like this. I like this a lot. I feel like this is a good way of looking at it currently, because you want to make the most of your man advantage. And if you don't make the most of the man advantage, then there's not much point having a man advantage. So the Brumbies, if they can score themselves another try, that will help them. I believe there was a big hard hit on Hooper. And don't worry, I wouldn't bet a single buck on the Rebels because I'm not a bloody idiot as well. Sebastian. On that one. That's the thing. It should be, okay, now they're actually back to 15. Okay, I didn't realize that would happen. Now I'm starting to regret my original decision. But I assume it's still a very good choice for the Brumbies. Who they got at the back? It's going to be in the hands of McKinnery. Trying to march their way forward here for the Brumbies. A slow and subtle build here for them getting closer. Nick White offloading it now to Rasamoni. That was not a good pass at all. Didn't actually find any of the hands that he was after. Looking for the offload now over the top. Joe Powell mixing it up with Matt Tamua. Callaway through the legs, interception, but it's gone back for the advantage. That was lucky because Tom Wright was almost swooping on that one, and they're going back, and that will be a half-time now, ladies and gentlemen. Those I don't do watch basketball, Hamish. I do try my best to watch some basketball, but I don't get much of a chance. I want to see the NBL a little bit more, and also that comment will go well with the good people of Melbourne and the SC Sebastian. I think the Breakers play the Perth Wildcats soon, which will be quite a cool one to be able to watch. Who knows? Maybe we do it on the Kiwi Lads Sport channel as a live stream in the future. Anyone who doesn't know about that channel, it is the pinned comment. I wonder if we'll see Xavier at the ground. He did say that he was going to this game. Okay, I did not quite see him there for that first angle. But yeah, anyone who is new to the channel, be sure to leave a like and subscribe. We're getting closer and closer to 10,000 subscribers. And we do get closer and closer every single day. He is still live, that NRL fellow, as well. But I'm going to have a quick look and see what the results are sitting like for the NRL for anyone. Oh, wait, no. I don't want to give away spoilers, though. Okay, I'm not going to give you spoilers, ladies and gentlemen, for what the scores were in the games. But the Panthers have played the Sea Eagles. The Raiders played the Sharks just before. And then the Broncos play the Rabbitohs currently. And also, yeah, we will try our best not to spoil those ones, because I feel like for you guys who want to watch the game after this one, I'm going to keep my mouth relatively shut. To zipped. That was harsh of them. They just, like, there was a guy who got asked a question, and then he went, yeah, it's just, and then they cut him off completely and went to a commercial or like an ad break. I feel like that's brutal for that man. He was probably going to give some expert analysis. He's still live. Oh, where are the Sri Lankans when you need them as well? Sebastian, yeah, they don't care about the NRL. They're like, nah, if it's not someone possibly doing a Cricket World Cup live stream that will get like 1 view compared to our 1 million, then we don't want to hear about it. They say, Roman, don't enter chat then, as I says Jay for that one. But currently, Warriors play tomorrow night, 7:30 up against the Dragons. They will be at the same time as Chiefs versus Rebels. I kind of want to do Roosters versus Knights. It's at 5 p.m., but it will be close to overlapping with Super Rugby. Maybe it will be one to look for. The Broncos Bunnies won a good game, but not spoiling it as well. Or the Broncos Bunnies won is a good game, but I'm not spoiling it. See the Robert and I say, hey, of course you're a Broncos man, aren't you? Up against the Rabbitohs. See, that's the thing. I'm probably, the last time I watched the Rabbitohs properly for a season, they were probably like Greg Inglis and those type of guys. It's been a little while. Roosters, I love watching James Tedesco play, so maybe that will be the one. And doing your rehab is key. I had the inside of my kneecap shaved and cartilage peeled, as I says flesh in. But yeah, it will be a painful experience, but like you just got to rely on the fact that the doctors and everyone know what they're talking about and just hope that it does recover to 100. And I mean, that's the thing. A lot of people do have those lingering injuries. And you're all Tigers fan, just admit it. Says Trucking Down Under. Tigers play the Storm tomorrow night. Oh, that's going to be a good game. Jeez. Well, I have to give that one a cheeky wee look, perhaps, depending on how it goes. Although we will probably end up doing the Reds versus Fiji and draw. Just keep you guys updated with it as well throughout the match. But currently we are at halftime. I actually forgot it was halftime for a second there. I was like, wait, I better keep on commentating the game. And then I realized, hang on. Halftime. Match stats. Let's get us some stats, ladies and gentlemen. What we got here. 3 tries for the Brumbies to the 0 of the Rebels. Also an extra 100 meters carry for the Brumbies. Bronco fan trucking. And then, hey, man, out of the Blues do, says Izzy. So spoilers ahead. Anyone who doesn't want to hear it, sure to just remove your headphones. And it will just be Izzy listening now, I assume. So the Blues, they did end up winning that game 32 points to 20. I think. 32 points to 20. They did score a last-minute try, but they didn't get the bonus point because that one was ruled out. But they played for 90 minutes that game. I don't know why I took off my headphones. I can still hear myself, whether I got headphones off or on. It's a brain dead moment there. What's happening as well from LA? Welcome in. Currently, 15 defenders beaten for the Brumbies compared to the 8 of the Rebels, and they're going to get flogged by the Storms. Says Trucking Down Under. Although people said the Sea Eagles Panthers game would be close. You know, surely Tigers win it by 13. I just want to know how much they're paying for 13 plus for them to win it, because I feel like that's going to be like upwards of double figures almost, wouldn't it? What we got tomorrow night for the NRL, for them to win it by 13 plus. I know Tigers are only $3.90 underdogs, but for them to win it by 13 plus is paying $12. Even them to win it by 1 to 12 is $5. With a cheeky bet there. Even though I have no money in my account, unfortunately, so no cheeky bets from myself. Also, we have got the any Broncos fan. Sorry to tell you, but you won't be winning at the end of the game. As well says Music Kiwi, and also, as your voice just croaky, or are you're just sick? It is croaky tonight. I don't think it's completely recovered from last week for the live streams that we did, because we did end up. Hey, it's Jamie Roberts. What's he doing there on commentary? Has he injured himself again? And you must be due for your monthly shave. I think I am relatively soon, getting scruffy for myself. So I will have to probably look at investing, or not really investing, just investing time into shaving Rebels for the wooden spoon. As Arnes says, inked up, could be a possibility. But I guess the big question for myself is, do I keep the mustache? Because I do get compared to an 80s porn star, which I mean, is it a bad thing? Don't know. Probably not the best thing to get compared to, but might be keeping it. We'll have to wait and see how it goes. And also, the only thing we will win this season is a wooden spoon. He's trucking down under. I see the TAB in New Zealand are being very generous, and they've pretty much said, like, if the Warriors finish in the top 8, you get money. If the Warriors don't finish in the top 8 but finish from 9th to 15, you get your money back in a bonus bet, which seems quite generous. And Fabio there as well says trucking down under. But like for the NRL, for the Warriors to finish in the top 8, where are they? Grand final winner, that's not the one that we're after. Where are they hiding? Do they not have top 8 anymore? They might not have top 8 anymore, so that might be a problem. Unless you can't go top 8 while the game's actually on, possibly. Might be the case. And also keep them tell the ladies you are an adult movie business, in the adult movie business. Some people might assume you have an STD, otherwise it's fine. It's a good point. There's a good point there. And also Islanders are looking good for the spoon. And also as the Warriors, are we going to come like 6th and win the comp? You heard it there first. So we will have to wait and see how it goes. I would like to follow along with them, but a lot of their games do overlap with Super Rugby, which I find really annoying because of the fact that if they didn't overlap with Super Rugby, I'd love to be able to follow the whole season. Like, that's the thing. NRL, as long as they show the other games in New Zealand, I'm going to be watching all of them on demand anyway, just to try and relearn the player names that I've forgotten. Unfortunately, it also has Russia going to be in the World Cup. I don't think so. I think they've actually been kicked out, and because of that, it means that Georgia do qualify automatically, and whether or not they are going to be able to take part in the future one. So it's between now Spain and Romania, I think, are the next 2 sides who are up the top. But for now, they have had their rugby license suspended, which is an interesting number. Currently, earlier today, 17-17 between the Rebels and the Brumbies. This game, I mean, we've had 17 from one side. Maybe the Rebels get it back to 17. Imagine if it ends as 17-17. And also going to be another busy day tomorrow. Warriors, Hurricanes, Phoenix, and WWE all tomorrow, says Music Kiwi. Is it WrestleMania tomorrow already? It was WrestleMania already. I didn't even realize it was now. Rugby are out of the Rugby Europe Championship. Going to beat them before, or we got to beat them before taking them out. And 10 out of 10 says Sebastian. What time do the Phoenix play tomorrow? I feel like they're also an overlap, aren't they? There's that much sport on at the moment that's very hard to follow in terms of what's there. You know, you got about 5 sports or 5 competitions that you could be watching at this point in time. Like, you got the Super Rugby, you got the NRL, Japanese Top League. It's starting in 19 minutes. That's a weird time to have a game for Japan, I think. Then also the cricket starting up in a little while, England versus West Indies, as they still try and get the last wicket partnership gone. URC starting up soon. Then you got the Six Nations tomorrow. If you're following your football, there's a whole heap of it. The NBA. Then also the A-League going to be tomorrow. That will be Brisbane versus Wellington Phoenix. And that game will be starting at a time of 7:05. They won a SmackDown as the weekends. WWE have properly lost it. No, just SmackDown. So they're doing SmackDown on a Sunday or Saturday. Oh, because it will be Friday night SmackDown, won't it? Friday night over there equals SmackDown morning here for us. I assume it is Music Kiwi. So yeah, we'll still be Friday night for you, Sebastian, in the UK. But for us, it is Saturday for the SmackDown. I remember back at school, like primary school, that is, like just being on the weekend Sunday, it was great because you used to be able to watch Raw followed by either ECW or then it became NXT. And then you watch SmackDown in the evening. Throughout the whole time, you'd use your little, your figures, your wrestling figures. I had about 40 of the things. One of them's Kalito turned green. I don't know what happened to him. I was like, surely we can't lose the Brisbane Raw. And also, that makes sense. Time zone in it. As our SmackDown used to be on a Wednesday for us. Yeah. Tuesday night SmackDown and then Monday night Raw, wasn't it? Which also means Tuesday night or Tuesday morning, afternoon time here in New Zealand. But yeah, you used to be able to watch them back to back to back on the Sunday, and it was great as well. And also Saturday. And there it says, oh yeah, you guys in Australia will also have it on Saturday, won't you? The Friday night SmackDown as well. But WrestleMania, when does WrestleMania take place? It must be soon. And it sucks that it will be a weekend because that means that we probably won't be able to do the covering of it. I'm going to look it up. I'm going to save you guys the job, even though you guys are probably already all over it. I forgot how to spell wrestle for a second there. WrestleMania. I ended up. Okay, so it's the Saturday, 2nd of April and 3rd of April. So it's still a month away. And that means Six Nations will be gone for that one. And did Beauden Barrett play for the Blues? And how did he go? He did not play for that one. Unfortunately, he did end up, I think, was positive in the end or injured. Was it? And also, what do you do or what do you think of the Panthers game last night? Very impressive from the Panthers. A lot of people thought it was going to be a lot closer. Seen an article that Stone Cold will be at WrestleMania. Not bad at all. Of course, Texas, you got to have the rattlesnake. Other one, you got Lesnar or Roman. It's a tricky one. I haven't really seen too much of the build-up to that one on. I think, didn't he? On, I think, he has COVID as well. It starts of April. Says Robert Wright. What games are on for Super Rugby at the start of April? That is a good question. Super Rugby Aupiki is coming back in 3 days' time for Chiefs versus Hurricanes. Hopefully we can cover that game and you keep the bear ground, go for the Kung Fu Master look, as in like down to here. Although saying that, it's pretty short for the amount of time that it's been grown. I think I'm a while off a Kung Fu Master. Unfortunately, it gets to about that long. Stone Cold is going to be on the KO show. Too bad he doesn't want a match. As on there says Music Youth. Probably fair enough, though. I can see why he doesn't, just because he was always one of those guys who were very professional in the ring and always wanted to put on a show. So if he doesn't feel that the body can put on like a 5-star match, he probably doesn't want to get involved. And okay, so Saturday, 2nd of April for us here in New Zealand. There are only games on Saturday, which means the Sunday might be free. And also, that's as well. I see Vince McMahon also was saying that he might be in a match. But instead, I think Austin Theory is going to take that. I feel like you guys are starting to learn that I do follow along with the WWE a little bit. I try my best. UFC, I've been slacking on lately. So what you do need to keep up with a little bit more. Who's playing on the 2nd of April for the NRL? Who we got? Who's playing? Okay, so the Storm versus Bulldogs, Eels versus Dragons. So that's if it starts on the Sunday. Although I don't know whether or not that's like Saturday New Zealand time and then Sunday New Zealand time, or whether that's Sunday New Zealand time, Monday New Zealand time. That took way too long for my brain to comprehend. And Stone Cold just being there is going to lift the card up. Says Music Kiwi. Yeah, he'll smack a couple of beers together. Everyone will go crazy for it. And then also Undertaker into the Hall of Fame. And I'm currently halftime in this one. 17 points to the 3 of the Melbourne Rebels. And anyone who is new to the channel, be sure to leave a like and subscribe. We are getting closer and closer to the 10,000. We are inches from it. We can almost reach out and touch it. And we are only sitting a total of 16 subscribers away from being able to hit the 10,000. I think by the end of tomorrow, we might be able to get there. Will you be doing NRL games this weekend? Says LA. We did actually do one of the games on the Kiwi Lad Sport channel. We did end up covering the Panthers versus Sea Eagles game. So be sure to check out that pin link if you haven't already. Bring back David Bikini Fights WWE. Says the best in Stone Cold Steve Austin will be drinking some beer. Will be performing stunning against Kevin Owens in WrestleMania in Texas. So excited to see which draw you're looking at. Says Robert, is that for the rugby or for the a little bit of NRL and also a little bit of Super Rugby on that one? But I'm hoping to be able to do, depending on the situation happening for Pakistan versus Australia, depending on how the match is kind of developing, it will either be NRL on Sunday on the Kiwi Lad Sport channel, or it will be Pakistan versus Australia on the main channel. So I'll see if I reckon bring back the Attitude Era. There says Music Kiwi by halftime. These two sides making their way back out onto the field already. 3 tries, Valentini, Ikatel, and also Tom Wright being the 3 men who have been able to score. And Jesse Mogg, we've seen him touch the ball once, I believe it was, in the earlier stage, and I think that was just ripping Joe Powell into touch. Other than that, we really haven't seen too much of him. Tom Wright, though, on the other wing for the Brumbies, been looking very strong. Now going to be ready to go here. 17 points to 3, 14 points that the Rebels do have to try and make up here at AAMI Park in Melbourne. Can they give the home crowd something to cheer about for the second 40? And the referee blows the whistle, as the sentence I was trying to say to get the words confused. Divas still wear short dresses, not bikinis, and WWE Attitude Era is not there. PG Era is there, and WWE says Cody, but now it's going to be passed back. I believe Nick White has been able to steal that ball. He goes into touch. He was trying to say that it's in favour of the Brumbies, but instead the Rebels have been able to get themselves this line out. Do let me know, ladies and gentlemen, who do you think will be the first try scorer of the second half? Will it be the Rebels? Will it be the Brumbies? And if so, who will it be? I'm going to say it Rasamone if it is someone for the Brumbies. And then for the Rebels, I'm going to go Andrew Callaway. It's got to be the big man, or the little man with the big heart. Jesse Mogg, a little bit of a juggle there. Now he has to kick it towards the touchline of his left foot. Is not preferred left, but it's a absolutely brilliant kick downfield. And also Attitude Era was the best. John Cena, Stephanie McMahon, national television swearing and matches are just better overall. And hi Hamish, which games will you be doing this weekend? Says Sakabula. So we are going to be doing all of the games of the Six Nations. I really am sad that the Scotland versus Italy game overlaps with Bulls versus Munster, because that was a huge one. It's going to be a huge game, but we're going to be doing there's 3 Six Nations matches. While doing the Six Nations, we will be covering the URC as well. We will be letting you guys know the score, keeping you updated. Tamati Ioane driving his way forward. Then also all the Super Rugby games. And then Pakistan versus Australia is also going to be slotting in there. And also watch CM Punk versus Darby Allin in AEW Music Kiwi. And also you know why the Moana Pacifica game is postponed. And it was because of the Hurricanes positive cases that they did end up missing out. But Jesse Mogg now driving his way forward. Good low tag on him by Andrew Callaway, really tying up the bootlaces. But Pete Samu driving forward and wait as the Moana game not going on. It is not, unfortunately, for tomorrow. We do miss out on that one. So that is the 4:35 game, the slightly earlier game. We don't get to see. And thanks, says Sakabula. Which game are you looking forward to the most this weekend? And is it one that we are covering? Or is it a different one? Kicking behind here. Using a nice boot. It's going to sit up there. Tom Wright takes it. Tom Wright scores it. And the Toms are playing their own game at the moment. Tom Wright, he does end up getting the try, and it is in the 42nd or so minute. We're going to make sure that the scoreboard is updated, and there we go. But Tom Wright scores the try there. Second one. Very nicely done. And we are woeful, says Xavier Brown. And yeah, it's just not quite going the way that they would have liked. I believe the try has been given for them at this stage. 22 points to 3. And as the Force playing tonight, they are not. They are going to be playing on Sunday up against the Waratahs TMO. Also, they're going to be checking this one, are they? Or something. And also, I guess we're watching the Canes then as well. And then any All Blacks players starring in these league matches or not. So he's going, so not this game in particular, but in the New Zealand games, you do often see the All Blacks. Like tomorrow, Crusaders versus Chiefs, you probably got about 10 to 15 All Blacks scattered throughout them, pretty much all of them coding, with a few exceptions, such as Damian McKenzie, who plays in Japan. Okay. So that is going to be the end of that discussion. And they have actually said that it is the try for Tom Wright, his second of the match. And also, how's the crowd, Xavier? Says Robert there, an all good try awarded as well, says Xavier there. But tonight, 2 tries for Tom Wright and 4 in 2022. And Rebels for the W. Says Quinny K. They're going to have to work hard in this second half, that is for sure. But they get a couple unanswered tries, maybe they can work themselves towards a chance of winning this one. Any news on Akira Ioane? From what I've heard, he's still injured. I don't really know how long he's going to be out for. He's been out for a long time. That's a better strike of the ball there from the youngster. And I forgot his name. I almost called him Ikatel, but it is Alicia. I did have the carry there, but it's a great run from Tom Banks. Plenty of acceleration, like they mentioned. And then waited for the perfect bounce. Matt Tamua had a shocker there. He just let the ball bounce over. And also shocking, says Xavier. That one also the vast majority of the Wallaby squad. Says Sebastian, that is true. Jesse Mogg now got this one. Andrew Callaway trying to counter-ruck. He gets the penalty for his side, and he seems to be the one player for the Rebels who's fired up for this game. Rebels for the win, as I come on watching from South Africa. As I was there, Squinty K there. So who is your favourite Rebels player, would you say? Is it maybe an Andrew Callaway, or is it someone along the lines of Leota? Maybe could be Reece Hodge, Matt Tamua. Do let me know. Now Reece Hodge kicking this one for the corner. Now, I mentioned the next try of the Rebels scorer. Who did I say would score? I think I said that it would be Callaway. They need to make sure that they get this line out right for Jordan Ulysses, Kovas, Elof. A bit of communication with Elof. Or sorry, not communication with himself, but communication going to the front now with the rolling maul. It's gone straight down. They've got the advantage. That was just too quick for the Brumbies to really do anything with. That defensive effort now going off. Rain Nu'u slings it back on for the cross kick from Matt Tamua. It goes high. It goes into touch. And they will be going back for the penalty. And I think Reece Hodge just slaps his leg going, why? Matt Tamua was saying that worked well. Just be a little bit wider next time. It went into touch on the full, Matt. You got to probably put a little bit less on that kick, I would think. Now 5 meters out. Looked like Kovas Elof for a second wanted to go for that rolling maul opportunity, but Reece Hodge instead will be kicking this one for the corner. I would think that they'll be onto it this time for the Brumbies, so they will have to go probably either to the front or the middle. But like they're saying, if they drag it down again, could be dangerous for a Brumbies player. And Sebastian, the exposure in Japan would be beneficial to the players. Does he make sure it certainly would be? And also, I mean, any player who goes over there is getting a nice financial sum as well. Kovas Elof getting closer to the line. Do they go off to the right or do they go around the side with the big forwards? He's just flat. In fact, he's extremely flat there. That was close. Just short of the line. Matt Phillip around the side wanted to back himself. Great defense here. Jordan Ulysses now gets closer. And I think they've got to use their backline here as much as they want to use the forwards. It doesn't seem like the Brumbies are going to be letting them through. And also, Quinny, what's the time in South Africa around the side there? Kovas Elof, does he crawl? He might have crawled. We know it was over the line, but did he crawl there, Kovas Elof, or did he get it down without a double movement? It looks like he's claiming it and try time coming. Says Music Kiwi. So the first initial reaction is should be try, but it's whether or not he's gone down on the knee and then kind of done the wiggle worm a little bit further towards the line. Or they're saying whether or not he knocks the ball on. Right, on-field try, what we got? Kovas goes down. I'd say that's fine. I think that is completely fine for the Rebels. I don't think they will be looking at it too often. Scorers, and it is going to be, what's his face? Kovas Elof. It's a hard name to spell, but we have gone Bom Bom Pow, and he does score himself the try in the 46 minutes. Still plenty of time left in this game. And also, will you be doing any more Rugby Challenge videos? I am keen to start a new Rugby Challenge series in the future. Hopefully, we can get something going for that. But that one has also gone over. Yeah, so the score now 10 points to the Rebels and 24 to the Brumbies. One moment. George has just asked if I am up, which I did respond with, yeah. No, I wrote a little bit more than that, but he is currently doing some editing. At this point in time, but currently 47 and a half minutes into this game. It's kicked off high and not quite taken cleanly. Now Matt Phillip has continued to drive his way forward a little bit more for the Rebels. They need another one, and I think the Japanese League is a great competition, especially the financial aspect of it, but you can't win in a World Cup with players performing in that league as well. Seth Sebastian and also NRL's going good at a halftime in the Broncos game. There's Robert, but it's going to be Rob Valentini off the field. That is for E. Kennedy. And the comeback is on. Could possibly be. I'm just going to quickly, I will have to reply to George because he said he's going to bed after the match. Best thing to do is export the old one, then cut it in the new. There we go. That one's going into the in-goal area. And that will be going back. I think there's a goal line dropout now for them. But Rob Valentini taken off the field relatively early, but I feel they must feel that he's done his job. He's gone out there, he's whacked into everyone, just like Rob Valentini always can and always will. And now he does get a little bit more of a break for the last little while. There we go. I'm just giving George some editing advice midway through the live stream, but now kicking it for touch here for the Brumbies. And also we have got there, heard you're trialing for the All Blacks, Hamish. Is that for playing or for not playing? I feel like playing wise, I have to get fit, aren't I? Because I can't run 10 meters without puffing. Currently today, I reckon you should watch some Hyundai A-League women's football. It is like Sunday football as well. Says Music Kiwi. Or I know that we want to do some of the A-League in general, I think, and they have to practice or train and practice on a regular basis, with the intensity of Super Rugby, speaking about the All Blacks here as well. There we go. But now Tom Banks going to be kicking this one for the touchline. The Brumbies, 50 minutes into this game, still 30 minutes left, and Norm Maxwell can vouch for you to Ian Foster as well. Maybe. See how it goes. I mean, that's the thing. I did actually mention on that one as well how he could do a video of training the Kiwi lads, which I feel like would be one that we just fail horribly. But he just tries his best to be able to turn us into rugby superstars for a week or something along those lines. And now putting the ball in, taken nicely by Frost. And closer. Oh, breaking off the back, and he's over Jerome Brown. And he gets the try. Sorry, that was very loud. I heard Hamish was trialing for the All Blacks under 10s. I probably still wouldn't make that team, but Jerome Brown scores himself another try there. Coming out of the middle of the ball. Maul. The Maul is the name that I was after there. Now they've got their lead back a little bit more for the Brumbies. We'll go like that, and we will go like that, like they're saying. They shifted to Jerome Brown, who just goes over. Two of the loose forward trio being able to score themselves a try. It's just Pete Samu who's missing out at this stage, but it was a good drive forward. Jerome Brown was Matt Tamua and also Joe Powell. They just weren't going to be able to stop him from there. He's making a name for himself at the moment, Jerome Brown. And that Brumbies game, thanks for streaming this. It is awesome. As it would be great if you could show some of the A-League's women's football as well. Says Green Parasol there. So yeah, we all have to wait and see how we go in the future. When does the Women's A-League take place? I know that it's similar. Is it just on Sundays or is it on a different day? Do let me know. Currently now going to be lining up this one. 29 points on the board for the Brumbies. There we go. Also, you got a good bro match with old Norm. So I really like listening to his wonderful anecdotes. As I says David the Mod there. Oh, the Sears missed again. And the crowd will be ripping into that man. Because unfortunately, I feel like George has never asked me so many questions in a row. And also, you may as well live stream my football if you're going to do women's football. As well. Says Music Kiwi. I don't know. Maybe we do your football one day. That's the thing. I'm keen on all levels just to try and get more experience. And also, Now running their way forward. Sorry about that. George is still chattering away. He doesn't normally chatter away at this time of the night. I'm quite surprised. Normally he's considering going to bed, but he must be in an editing mood and he's just flat out on the keyboard. But now driving their way forward, 15 metres out from their own line. Here the Brumbies have got the bonus point. Currently, as we sit, 19 points ahead here for the Brumbies. Close to the touchline, right on it was Resage, but he's done very nicely to be able to keep that one in the field of play. Currently about 40 metres out, and the Rebels need themselves another try. Get back into A-League ladies showing at different times. I'm not sure. I'm showing for you guys in New Zealand as well, says Green, for that one, because I know that the men's A-League, they've actually got some midweek games, which will be quite nice. And also, welcome over to the North Island. You can't watch it on TV. And it's a wonder people haven't asked you to stream curling. So says David, I'd love to try curling. I feel like I've done it once in the past, and it would be quite a fun one. So maybe we commentate our own Kiwi Lads curling event. Joe Powell, back to Matt Phillip. Another good carry forward, but Elov, just the one try scorer for the Rebels in this game, which probably isn't the name that you would have expected to see for the Rebels to be able to score. Joe Powell now firing it back after Rain Nu'u. Well isolated by Frost, tries to find the offload, does put it back. That's going to be the advantage in the penalty. Now, Nick White's not too happy with that one because he does feel that that ball was out of the breakdown. But offside at the ruck. Never left the breakdown is the call from the referee. So it did leave the hands, but not the breakdown. And does anyone do Super Brew in there? I wish I could do Super Brew, but I doubt I would be able to predict anything. I know not that there's anything wrong with killing. No offense intended, as says David the Mod. And there, I feel like the Kiwi Lads Sport channel, we need the goal of covering as many random sports as we can, like once on the channel, you know, like an NRL one that's not random, AFL, do one for like, I don't know, what other sports are there? Golf, maybe like an hour golf one, some UFC, everything, just everything around the world, just a random sport a week or something like that. It's better Ariana Grande or Selena Gomez. Are we talking singing ability? Or Joe Powell, I think, took a box or possibly a punch to the balls there, unfortunately. Now Powell pass that back across. That looks like Hardwick straight away. Does get back up, goes again. It's offload. Kovas Elov's going to score again. Now they're going back. Okay, he's tackled it. I couldn't believe that Kovas Elov almost scored a second try there. My brain couldn't say words. The big man, Kovas Elov, almost able to score another try in anything as well. Or the New Zealand Ice Hockey League. Yes, you lads do have an ice hockey. Do we? I have never heard of it. Is it like big? Because I know we've got a non-ice hockey league, like just normal hockey. Or I guess not normal hockey, but grass hockey, field hockey is what they call it, isn't it? But yeah, we've got that. I know that much. I didn't realize we had ice hockey. Whereabouts do they do the ice hockey? Is it in the North Island or South Island? Or I know Temuka's got a thing, like a rink. Or not Temuka, sorry, Tekapo has got an ice rink. I don't know whether or not they play ice hockey there, though. Now going around the side, off the back, Jordan Ulisi trying to drive his way forward quite nicely. Rain Nu'u, hard carry at the line. Andrew Callaway with the clean out there of Irasamoni. Now Cameron all trying to get involved. I think Kovas Elov wants himself another try. Is that going to be sealing off? It is going to be the penalty advantage now. Tamati Ioane has the ball knocked out of his hands. Double blow of the whistle. See you later, whoever that was. Who was it? Uh-oh. Irasamoni. No, it's Nick White. He's gone. And also, with regards to the MLR, maybe we as Kiwi Lads could just follow Katie's favourite team and maybe stream a game every now and then if you can. Says David, I am quite keen because I know that she is keen also to do like a co-commentary live stream. All right. This is going to sound like a terrible question. Who was her team again? Was it the Giltinis? I remember saying Giltinis a lot. No, Legion. She's San Diego Legion, isn't she? I feel like she would be so disappointed if she was listening. Where is the MLR, what we got coming up? And this one, like, if my voice is up for it, like, in the near future, which it should be, like, overall, the voice is being held up. Gilgronis, I think it is, actually, that I was thinking of, but it is, or is it Nola? Who does she go for? San Diego Legion, I believe it is, isn't it? But I could be wrong there. It's actually an 8 a.m. game on Monday, the 14th of March, that's coming up, so maybe I'll look at it for that one. Now, ball available once again for Powell. Going back to Rain Nu'u. Moore, Andrew Callaway, wide cutout pass out to Vaiu, quick stepping winger. is going to be dragged down. Andrew Callaway still protecting that ball nicely. He's been in more breakdowns than some of the forwards here for the Gilatinis are the top team from LA. And then there's going to be a little knock on. Ross Taylor, Betty does put the ball down. I realised I've forgotten. I sent you the list of Kiwi ice hockey teams. Says Sebastian there. Do we have more than one? I guess you need two, wouldn't you? And it takes two to tango. Who we got? Right, we've got the Auckland Mako. Okay. Botany Storm. Canterbury. We've got a team in Canterbury. Alpine Ice Centre, that makes sense. Dunedin, it's cold enough that you wouldn't even need an ice stadium. They can just play in the backyard. Queenstown, that makes sense. And West Auckland Admiral. Okay. Liking it. I feel like my goal by the end of my life, well, not end of the life, probably by the end of some stage, is to go to an ice hockey game. Go to the Dunedin Ice Stadium or the Queenstown Ice Arena and just spend a little bit of time there. Just do a vlog of some sort, maybe. I didn't realize we had ice hockey. I assume we had field hockey, like quite a few teams for that. We probably got a lot more than ice hockey, but I didn't realize we actually had, I guess that's semi-professional, isn't it? I'm going RIP Shane Warne. And there's us, Kiwi, so we'll see you later on, mate. 10 minutes in the bin here for Nick White. And it is Joe Powell actually making his way off the field now for the Rebels. And in replacement of him, it's going to be Moses Sorovi, in fact. Or you make it his way out there. I'm going to sit up straight before my back collapses, which hopefully it shouldn't. Currently, also out on the field, it is going to be Tunama Paya. And also, it's an amateur league, but it still counts. As I asked this question, I wonder whether or not they show any games on TV or any highlights anywhere. I have to send them a video or not a video, but like maybe we just talk to them and be like, hey, you want me to put your highlights on YouTube? And I can just do some commentary for them. And then they'll be like, no, go away. And I'll be like, oh, fair enough. Might not be as smooth running as the table tennis one. That one. Currently sitting 8 minutes into this game. That's a lie. 8 minutes left of the yellow card is what I was going to say. And 58 minutes into this game is how we are sitting at 29 points to the Brumbies, 10 to the Rebels. The bonus point is still in favour of the Brumbies. So we currently sit with Joe Powell off the field, and that is for Moses Sorovi. Was he at the Reds? Was he at the Reds recently? Moses Sorovi, or am I thinking of a different man? That's a good push there from the Rebels. They get a free kick as well. The front row just getting it a bit wrong. It looks like they do want another scrum, I would assume here. Little bit of push, little bit of shove. Everyone's angry. And now Jerome Brown, he just walks away. They've all got very similar haircuts. Him, Samu, and also there's another player who I'm looking for who I have lost, unfortunately, now. Does have the very similar one. Now, New Zealand Ice Hockey, who would have guessed it? As only as Dave the Mild, I certainly want to know. I didn't realize we had ice hockey over here, but I'm kind of intrigued now for it. Currently now 20 minutes left. Who are they? They are coaches. One man's got almost mutton chops. Oh, no, he's got the beard as well. I was going to say it's almost mutton chops, grey beard, mustache as the coaching box, which I feel like is a good combo. Jerome Brown now making his way off the field. That will be for Luke Reamer. Does continue his opportunity. And that's also another man making his way off the field. Why do I not recognize? Oh, it was Connell McHenry. No wonder I didn't recognize it. It's called the NHIHL. And then you can look it up if you want. Do they have any videos on YouTube, Sebastian? Oh, Alan Allardyce. Yeah, that will be painful. He's not showing any pain, though. Just getting a little bit of Vaseline on the broken eardrum, or kind of the earlobe, I guess you call it there. Now, jumping up and down there for, I believe that's Luke Raymer, just getting himself nice and warm, ready to go for his first scrum of the day. But it is going to be the scrum beat for the Rebels. Now, the Brumbies, they have been the more dominant of the two scrums. They've been looking strong. They've been looking sharp. That man, he's the fisherman. Dan McKellar does always look like he's got that bucket hat / slightly wider brim one. Alan Alatoa, that was actually his last moment of the day. Getting a little bit of Vaseline on the air and keep it up. Rebels, boys, make another try, boys, says Joseph there. I was going to put the link in the chat. Go for it. I think moderators do have permission to put links through YouTube. I think otherwise it does hide them, which is unfortunate. In some regards, that's gone down in the front row. It's a messy one. The Brumbies get themselves the penalty. Very nicely done. The bucket hat's over there. That guy almost has a bucket hat. As all right, I am going to quickly go onto the chat so that I can see this link that is spoken of. One moment. We go like this. We go like this. And we go like this. I didn't realize that it was going to be so many steps to get onto the live stream. It's about 17. Anyone who is new, be sure to leave a like. Also subscribe to the channel. Currently, we are sitting on 27 likes. Let's see whether or not with the last 20 minutes we can push our way towards maybe 40 for this one. So if you haven't already, be sure to leave a like and subscribe. They do have their own one, and they actually stream games. Cool. I'm going to watch some of it. A little bit. Probably not tonight. I've just realized because I will have to sleep before the Six Nations. But after that, I will give it a little bit of a geese. Apparently, that is another sub being made. I believe that would have been Isaac Ado-Kelia. Now, Jake Gordon, that's a lie. His name is Carter Gordon. He's had a little bit of a rough start to Super Rugby, and that's putting it lightly. Now, oh, the referee's microphone sounds terrible. Taken nicely by the Brumbies. Met very early with a perfectly timed shove from the Rebels. Big carry forward from Luke Raymond. Also, we've got the ice hockey. Sounds cool. It's on there, says David the Mod. That one's almost gone backwards. Oh, I've just realized what that is. I was like, it sounds terrible for the microphone. It was actually the hockey video promo for their one showing. So that's why it sounded that sounded like an awful microphone. Apparently, this guy City Stampede are last season's champions and holders of the most titles. Says the bash in there. So when does a season of ice hockey in New Zealand start? I assume it's like maybe later in the year, maybe in winter, but then saying that if they're inside in indoor stadiums with ice, they probably don't need winter. It's going to be the penalty to the Melbourne Rebels. So Robbie taking the quick tap, got the man outside him, Andrew Callaway. No, it's Research. He's in touch and he's not happy with Moses Sorovi. Just took too long to pass that off. Research doesn't even make eye contact with him. Just goes back to his mark. Currently 4.5 minutes left for the Brumbies to have a man advantage here in this game. They need to make sure they make the most of it, or else this is probably their last chance to be able to get back into the game. But yeah, Research is too close to the touchline. Ran out of space. Sorovi running sideways, which did mean he just got pretty much squeezed near the touchline. But currently now about to throw this ball in. Does not throw it yet. Waiting. Throws it to Pete Samu. Takes it nicely. Does have a little bit of a juggle, though, of that ball. It's an advantage for the knock-on ice hockey season. Should kick off in late autumn if it's like in the Northern Hemisphere. Okay. So that's about, what month's autumn, Sebastian? I know it's like midway through the year, but is it June or July that it starts for autumn? It's one of the two, isn't it? I'm going to have to look this up. I feel like I should know this. When does autumn start in New Zealand? Oh, it's March to May. I was saying winter. Ugh, that was not good. That was showing my inexperience with weather. Certainly won't catch me on a weather report anytime soon. That is for sure. But 63 minutes through this game here. And the Royals once again in April, May in the Southern Hemisphere last week. So I said, David there. That was bad. That was bad from myself, wasn't it? I could name you the flags around the world, but I couldn't name you when seasons start. I know the order of the seasons: summer, autumn, winter, spring, isn't it? But I just got it well and truly off. Now I'm going to be throwing it in for this one. For the Rebels, it is going to be one moment. Who's their number 16 that they have got? It is going to be Billy Pollard, who's made his way out there. He actually scored himself a try last week, I believe it was. South now driving their way quite nicely forward, and also Yelka Vader says David the Mod. Oh, getting picked up there by Kobus Elof, just wrestling man down to the ground. I don't know whether or not you can go through like that. For the number 5, kicking it in behind was Ere Simoni, sits up nicely for Mapaya. Getting driven backwards in a very good tackle counter ruck from the Brumbies. They steal it as well, or do they? It bounces back for Sorovi, a metre short. Did he get it down? I think Luke Reimer's claiming that one. Okay, there's a lot that they have to try and work out what went on there. So I would assume more than likely you've got at least a minute or so of TMO coming up here, ladies and gentlemen. Okay, on-field decision, no try, but I think the ball is grounded, was the comment from Nick Berry, who is the touch judge for this matchup. They know he's grounded. The ball is just how it got there. Okay, they're going to go back to the start of the phase, but it was all over the place. And now the TMO have to try and make themselves a decision. Right, we're looking for knock-ons. Okay, who got their hands on the ball? I would call that close to a knock-on. For whoever that was, I think that was Luke Reimer. Sorry for leaning in so close. Oh. So it's either Sorovi or Reimer who has been able to ground it first. Okay, both players have their hands on that ball. Okay. No knock on at the breakdown is the first call. Oh, was there a little... No fingertip on it from Reimer, they are saying. I would argue Sorovi's hands are still on the ball at the time that Luke Reimer pushes the ball down, but it's whether or not they consider it still controlled by Sorovi at the point of contact, or whether it's going to be another loose forward try for the Brumbies. This is a big decision to make. I don't know. It's a tricky one. It's going to be one that if they give the try, someone's going to be annoyed. If they don't give the try, someone's going to be annoyed. You're literally a 50-50. Where's a coin? Okay. Heads is going to be no try. Tails is try. Okay, that was try, but I think they've said that it's going to be a 5-metre scrum. So that didn't quite work. Oh, that's extremely close to Sorovi losing that ball. Okay. No try, simultaneous grounding. That's the first time I've heard that, and it's going to be a 5-metre scrum for the Brumbies here. Simultaneous grounding. That's something I didn't think I would hear in this game, but they have said pretty much because it is simultaneous. I mean, the Rebels, they made hard work of that for themselves at the end. Now, 5-metre scrum. All the Brumbies were back at halfway, and also, do you know what will be a laugh in Ice Hockey League in the Caribbean? It's also Sebastian there. Do you have summer holidays in Romania? Sebastian says, David. It's a good question. I assume it's summer, but it's still quite cold for yourselves. Currently now, I'm looking at Pete Samu here. 5 meters out. If they put in a big shove, he's not going to be stopped. That's my prediction. It's also probably a spoiler for what I think is going to happen next, which probably won't happen. But see how it goes, won't we? See whether or not we can get one right. I haven't really got too many right recently. We do, David, from late June to early September. So I'll see Sebastian there. But scrum penalties, 4 against the Rebels, 2 against the Brumbies. So it's actually been pretty 50-50. Oh, it's a free kick to the Rebels for going too early on the far side. And I believe that was a Reese Van Nick. No, it wasn't. It was actually Kuatai. And maybe a little bit of Billy Pollard. But that helps them out. And now Reese Lodge is allowed to kick this one as far down the field as physically possible. And it's a great kick as well from Hodge to be able to really escape the danger. Hey, that was Noah Lolesio. I just realized Nick White's off the field, isn't he? So that's why I'm surprised they haven't decided to replace Noah Lolesio with maybe Ryan Lonergan, because that man can play fly half and he can play scrum half and he takes kicks. So I feel like he would be the ideal kind of fill-in. I guess you could say I actually just done some work on the videos. So it's a good job there. Cameron Orr now off the field. Isaac Ado Kylia making his way out there and joining Ulysses, just having a bit of a chat on the touchline. I see Andrew Callaway actually off the field as well, so they've decided to take him off. That's for Chris Fuatai Saltia. That's a lie. It's actually young Tunamapaya. Keep on saying the wrong team because I see them in the wrong order for this half. Guess you could say, but that's going to be the penalty now to the Brumbies, and they probably more than likely will kick this one for the corner once again now. Yeah. Also, meh. He said, Rebels, your season's a mess as well, and they certainly do need themselves a good chance, or they at least need a point at this point for the Rebels. If they can get within 7, I'd be pretty happy with that. I would think of 5 in Auckland, says Brandon there, and also we have got that. Well, that's a good break. Says David the Mob, but now kicking it for the corner. It will be Tom Banks. Still 13 minutes left in this matchup. It does go into touch about 20 metres out from the line here. And a good opportunity once again for the Brumbies to try and get something going. Pete Sami, he will be lurking. He'll be looking for the ball. He'll be asking for the ball here. And now, Noel Alessio off the field, and that is for Ryan Lonergan. There you go. I guess they must have heard me. They must have a microphone in here. It's goes rough here, mate. We need a prolonged holiday. And there, and also Colt says Brandon, but now it's going to be taken nicely by the Brumbies. They ask for the penalty. They do not receive it, though. Now Lonergan slings it back across Simoni, but the bounce pass hasn't quite worked out. The ball is behind, but Simoni picks it up beautifully now, trying to get the grubber in behind it. Sits up into the hands of the Rebels, and now an attacking run from Hardwick, 45 metres out here. They are continuing to build themselves forward. I'm going to have to plug my phone in because it is currently on 10%. I do not quite want it to end up running out of battery on the live stream because it does take about 5 minutes to revamp it or reboot it, I guess you could say. Now close to dropping that one, Ray Nu'u. As Lonergan on the field actually for Nick White. So Noel Alessio, he must be off for Rodney Iona. He is indeed. And also, okay, hard out. And there says says David to Sebastian. Matt Phillip, another advantage in favour of the Rebels. The 5 phases, 12 minutes left. Koba Seeloff back to Carter Gordon. Matt Tamua, second receiver now. Hodge with the wide cutout pass. Nicely out to Tumamapaya. Down the wing, tackled by Jesse Mogg. Must be very close to the touchline. So Robbie going back on the inside to Tamati Ioane, who just runs at Simoni like a runaway train there. Carter Gordon off to Elof Tamua. Nice backline movement here from the Rebels. Looking very good. Selling a dummy twice from Ray Nu'u, trying to link up. Not quite able to. Ball does pop up. Looked like it might have been a knock on. So Robbie's still got it available. Getting closer for Ross. Haylett, Petty, Kobus, Elof around the side. He's really been involved throughout this game so far. So Robbie goes back to Carter Gordon. Backline looking good. Tamua, Research, quick hands. Out to Hardwick. They're drawing the pass. He didn't need to, and Hardwick scores the try. And the Rebels start their late comeback perhaps in this one, but it was Richard Hardwick who was able to score it. And 2 forwards scoring in this match for the Rebels. Hardwick. And Jesse Mogg, he was on the outside. He could have used him if he needed him to, or if he needed, but he did not need. Decided that it was worth a crack going himself and did work out extremely nicely for him. But anyone who is new to the channel, be sure to leave a like and subscribe. We've got the Six Nations tomorrow morning, 9 a.m. So when that one will be starting between France and Wales. Should be an exciting game. It could shape the rugby champion. Oh, sorry, not the rugby championship. Could shape the Six Nations. That was a great plug, wasn't it? Worked well off the tongue. And I do miss those long school holidays. Nowadays, for me, it's just a break for my master's course, and work keep me going. Works keep going as usual. Hardwick, that looked very slippery for him. He did slide his way over the line, but currently 69 minutes into the game. And the Rebels, they are getting a little bit closer. If they can keep this game within 7 points, that would be massive for this Rebels team. But the Brumbies, they are currently sitting third on the table behind the Crusaders and the Reds. This game, if they win it, they will push themselves up to top of the table until maybe a change in the table for the game tomorrow night between the Chiefs and the Crusaders, or the Reds versus the Drua as well. But those games are both going to be covered on the channel. The game between the Hurricanes and also Moana Pacifica, sadly postponed. That is due to positive cases popping up. Now, Matt Tamua laying it up, strikes it nicely straight down the middle. 2 crucial points there for the Rebels, and the score now 17 points to 29, 12 points difference between them. And Hardwick helps get them just a little bit further back into this match. My voice is starting to disappear quite badly at the moment. That is not ideal. There we go. Hopefully it lasts for a little bit longer. Kicked off now once again. Oh, it's close to the touchline, but done very nicely there, Matt Phillip, to be able to keep that ball alive. Going to be inside of the 22, Cobus Eloff. Where is he lurking? I think he's still out on the field. Yes, he is. He's been put in an absolute shift, that man, for the Rebels throughout this game. They have got the replacement of Rhys van Neek if they do need him, but it seems like Cobus wants to do the full 80 if he can get through it. Now kick downfield. Tom Banks taking it nicely there. About 40 metres out from their own line. Rodney Iona goes back across to Jesse Mogg out on the full and gives the Rebels just a little bit more of a reprieve to be able to get themselves back into this game. This one could be a down-to-the-wire finish, just like we've seen so many times throughout Super Rugby and also Homebot. And there it says, Geelong Cats fan, welcome into the Livestream I. Hope you are doing well. Currently, only a 12 points difference. Jesse Mogg, he struck that one absolutely beautifully on the left foot. Just got too much of it, though. Taken nicely by Michael Wells. In fact, that was Ross Haylett-Petty, the replacement. Big carry forward from Ray Nu'u. Runs it straight at Rodney Iona. It's a penalty to the Brumbies, and I believe that would have been Kuatai who got straight in there. Did end up getting the turnover for his side. Important one. Once again, every moment from here on out is important for these two sides. You got 7 minutes left in this game. In fact, 8 minutes. The time this one goes into touch and the line out is thrown, it's probably looking closer to that 7-minute mark. Every moment is crucial. But he's been impressive for this game, Ray Nu'u. Currently, and imagine if Petty was Geelong's Cats. As I tell you what, that would be a plot twist and a half, wouldn't it? And all the best in that, mate. So says David there, but currently 72 minutes through this game. Moses Robbie off to Carter Gordon. Boom. Just runs straight at the line there for Ray Nu'u, but straight in there as well as Kuatai to be able to turn that ball over. Currently, it's actually only another 10. In fact, it's less than 10 hours. We're probably another 9 hours until we get to the Six Nations. That will be an exciting one to watch on the channel now. Luke Raymer, the good carry forward off the back. Ryan Lonergan offloading it back if they get themselves another try here. I believe, actually, they've still got the bonus point here for the Brumbies, so another try would definitely secure that one for them. Lonergan goes back. Erasamoni off to the man in the midfield for this match is actually Chris Fuatai Satias? Something along those lines. I think I pronounced that a little bit wrong. Now continuing to drive forward. That was Ed Kennedy. Another tackle made. I'm looking through. I'm looking for whoever's going to be able to make the big difference. It could be Big Nick Frost trying to step his way through. Still driving the big man. Only 5 meters short of the line now. Rockland, I almost call him, but that's a knock on. I'm thinking, David, it's not tough. I just have patience. I have to patient my patience. Test match cricket helps with that, says Sebastian there. And yeah, hopefully, for your sake, West Indies lose that wicket very quickly. Because we're up to, is it day 3 or day 4 now? That we are up to. It must be day 4, is it? So we're getting closer and closer to the end of this test match. Seems like a draw could be on the cards, perhaps, depending on how it goes. That one's going to be dropped there. I mean, if my voice didn't sound so terribly or so terrible at the moment, I could have, if I did stay up throughout the night, I could have done some West Indies versus England for it. But I think tomorrow might be the best. Oh, no, the Six Nations overlaps with it. That's unfortunate. I feel like they picked the worst time. Also, maybe an engineer by any chance of day 4, says Jay for that one. Getting closer and closer to the end of it. Both teams have only batted once, haven't they? Ball is available for Saravi at the back, 74 minutes in, and Reece Hodge now kicks it down the middle of the field. In fact, he kicks it for the touchline and does get it very nicely towards the touchline. But anyone who is new to the channel, like I mentioned, be sure to leave a like and subscribe. We are closing in on the 10,000 subscribers. That feels very weird to say. And also, we have got there day 4, England. I will have to bat an entire session just to cancel out the deficit and start building a lead. It really looks like a draw, says Sebastian for that one. So hopefully we do get to see some late drama and maybe someone does get the result. There was, I believe, Matt Phillip just getting thrown straight across the breakdown now. Good run forward from Erasamoni. He has never stopped running throughout this one. Ryan Lonergan. That's a ball on the inside from James Slipper. Tom Banks spins the ears back and he does drive himself over the line. What a try that was for Tom Banks. Bad to worse for the Rebels pretty much. And that one was an absolutely phenomenal try for Banks. It was James Slipper who helped set it up. He just waited for the perfect opportunity to offload it. And Banks does end up scoring the try in the 75th minute of this game. So both Toms being able to score. The only Tom who hasn't scored is Tom Horton, but he plays for the Waratahs, so maybe he scores tomorrow or the next day after that. At least it's more entertaining than the Paki versus Australia test. Yeah, that one, like, that's the thing. Day 5, I was still trying to be optimistic, but it was just always, oh, they might be checking this one to see whether or not it's forward. And the Kiwi lads are, what should I watch? Anime season 1 or 2? Is anime, is that actually a name of a series? Is it just called anime? Season 1 or 2? I guess season 1's probably a good place to start. Oil and gas engineer currently exploiting onshore oil fields. Smashing, there you go. Tom Banks goes through, scores the try, and currently we've had Elof, we've had Hardwick. They are the 2 try scorers for the Rebels. Then the Brumbies, they have had a field day out there on the field. It was Valetini, Ikatel, Wright. He got 2. Brown, Banks as well. Everyone's scoring. And also, if you need a little bit of extra cash, you can go on an offshore oil rig. They pay extremely well. And that one now has gone over. I've always wondered this. I feel like I need to watch one of those videos. You know how it's like how stuff's made? I feel like I need to watch one for like how oil works. Like in terms of how you get oil. Is it like from very deep in the earth, or is it in the water? No, it's not in the water, is it? Because it's offshore. So is it like over the top of water and you like dig down or something? I don't really know how oil works overall. I just know that it's like it comes in a little bottle, and they were advertising it at Pakistan versus Australia. Good run forward there from the Brumbies. Kautai, a little bit closer. Off to Lonergan, and now Rodney Iona kicks it in behind the Brumbies. They've got some very good players from overseas, including Rodney Iona, plays for Samoa at international level. Now Red Side kicks it high. Waits for it. 2 players, Waihu and Hodge, and that will frustrate both of those 2. Definitely, because now it's a great attack and run. That's going to be a block. It's a penalty there for the Rebels. Unfortunately, just getting the line a little bit wrong there, Nick Frost. And also, I get my oil off from the shops. And the Kiwi lads, who's your favourite Simpsons character? Oh, favourite Simpsons character. It's a good one. This is not based off the Simpsons hugely, but I enjoy Krusty the Clown because I used to have like a book of Simpsons colouring in, and he was always fun to do because of how many different colours he had. So that's my story, and it's on the bottom of the sea. The crude oil and gases arise through the installed pipelines from the bottom all the way to the surface. How do they get? That's a long pipe. I guess you probably don't do it in like hugely deep water, but it'd still be a relatively long pipe, wouldn't it? Be a hard one to transport, I would think. So just like, it's like a big vacuum that you suck the oil out of the earth, and it just does things, I guess. Well, oil is very useful, of course. Got any petrol you can send over? That's starting to get a bit expensive in New Zealand. The highest price it's ever been. Currently, let me guess, Geelong Cats fan is here. As says JAZ, is indeed. That's going to be the knock on, and the Brumbies now have got themselves another scrum feed with only a minute left, and most rigs are 30-some kilometres away from the shore. Jeez, so that would be deep water. I feel like my weekend is going to be New Zealand ice hockey, or actually my midweek next week, New Zealand ice hockey, how do oil rigs work, and probably something else alongside that. I don't know what to have alongside it. Probably just random rugby facts as well, possibly. But currently only 40 seconds left in this game. The Brumbies currently have got themselves the bonus point. Even if the Rebels score again, they will still have that bonus point secured, and they will go to the top of the table. And then, man, the Rebels are dead so far. As Al says, better here. They have not been going too well, that is for sure. They did well to get to 17 points in this game, I will mention, though. That's a big push from the Brumbies. They've got another advantage. Ryan Lonergan attacking run. He's been hit hard and low by Carter Gordon. Great pick up. Beautiful overlap there for the Brumbies. And it seems like they're really well set at the moment, and they know exactly where everyone is. Can you let us know when you're uploading videos so I know? And there's Geelong Cats fans. We don't normally upload too many, but the lineup videos do come out on a Wednesday and also a Thursday, depending on when it is coming out. Type thing, or when the lineups are announced. Normally it's 2 days before the game of rugby, and that is when those come out. In terms of the streams, we've got the Six Nations tomorrow morning at 9 a.m. and then also the 2 Super Rugby games tomorrow. And also outstanding, says David, and also $2.20 a litre at the moment here, bloody robbery And there says JC, we're up to $3.08 or something, Jay, for ourselves, I think. I think diesel's even gone over the $3 mark or $2.50 or something like that currently as well. Now, penalty to the Rebels. You ask the question, what are they playing for at this point? Probably points differential. It's a big kick downfield from Carter Gordon. Gets them out of trouble now. 36 meters out. They are going to go for another line-out drive here. See whether or not they can get over. And you missed a good NRL game. You should have streamed it as well, says Robert there. All right, and I know that it's the Broncos versus... forgotten who they're playing in that one at this stage. But I'm hoping to watch the replay with Ollie, $3 as well. Yeah, it's going up big time. I think it's the highest price that New Zealand's ever had for fuel. Like across the whole board pretty much, I guess you could say. But now continuing to drive their way forward. I've realized somewhere along the line I transferred from watching it on that one to this one. And also we have got their CEO off. I had to watch some other YouTube videos as they're still on Cats Fan. So we will see you later on. And also you can finally sleep. There's Neville. So yeah, after this game is finished, we will be sleeping until the early stages of the morning. That's a big knock on there. Going back for the penalty though to the Rebels. It's going to be offside. Yes, and this game is not quite over yet. Now, earlier on, we saw a game go for 90 minutes. Could this game be similar? Could it go for longer? Perhaps as well. We will have to wait and see. Although I feel like we're going to see a handling error earlier on. I see that the women's game of football in the A-League, Sydney 4, Melbourne City 2. It's a high-scoring one there for the women's A-League. 10 metres out, going for another rolling maul, and it is going to be all on Ma'afu. He does have to try and get this throw right. Also, I remember back in the 80s, my oldies used to complain about paying 35 cents a litre. There's Jay, yeah, how quickly it has changed. Oh, it's bouncing back. It's still going to be a knock-on advantage for them. Hardwick, the good carry forward in Amishbro, 11:36 p.m. in New Zealand. It is indeed. So we are going to be going to bed. Actually, the earliest we're going to bed in ages. For it. So, like, even when I got the live streams at like 11 a.m., I always go to bed at like 2. But tonight, I think I'll be asleep by 1. Then we will be able to sleep for about 7 and a bit hours, hopefully. And then we will be able to go for some more rugby and some more football, rugby and cricket, I should say, and Rebels, pretty much the bottom feeders of the Super Rugby AU. And there says Sammy Sosa, and how quickly times have changed. It was the Waratahs. We're at the bottom. We're up to 83 minutes now in this game. Everyone just wants to play for 90 minutes today, it seems. I bet Robert, it's us, there's David the Mod for that one. But currently now the Rebels once again will be kicking this one for the corner. We might be going to 85, which means on average the 2 games of Super Rugby have gone for 87 minutes. And also as the Wales versus France stream happening, it's an early morning game in New Zealand. It sure is. We are going to be live for it. I believe it's a 9 a.m. start here in New Zealand, and we are going to be starting probably about 10 minutes beforehand. So we'll have to get up in a nice early morning manner, and then from there we have got a long day ahead because we are going to be doing the Super Rugby in the evening, followed by some more Six Nations, I believe. It's going to be that night, isn't it, that the Six Nations is taking place. So we are going to have 2 more games going right through. We're almost going to be up for about 24 hours for tomorrow with the amount of sport that we have got on. But I'm excited. See how it does end up going. Almost stolen there by the Brumbies. Not quite. Still available for the Rebels. We're up to 84 minutes now. Edging closer and closer. That's going to be another penalty against them. And it is going to be Luke Raymer this time. They did say that was an all right turnover, but we're going back for the advantage. And we are now up to 84 minutes. James Slipper ends up getting penalised for that one. And I'll say, yep, those were the days. Could go to the local and get plastered on $20 too. Says David, that's the thing, like back in the day, even though I can't really comment on this, I can only say what I've heard, like having like a 10-cent mixture and a 5-cent mixture, like rather than $1 and $2 type thing. And also you can get like fish and chips for like cheap as well. Now passing it back, Hardwick getting close. They didn't decide to reach out. Looks like Raymer, has he given away another advantage here? Almost did. But now the Rebels, they're only a couple meters out from the line here. Okay, 17 gold offside. It's actually very smart from the Rebels player. Did lure himself in, going out the back line now. Matt Tamua, chip and chaser goes high, and he doesn't take it. It's going back for another penalty. And indeed, Double David says, Jay, that's another yellow card. They're down to 13 at the moment, the Brumbies. Everyone just wants off the field currently. And the referee's sick of James Slipper. He said, nah, go away. Get off the field for the last little moment. So he's got a 10 minutes in the bin. He might be back out on the field by the end of this game, depending on how it goes. But we're 85 minutes through, and this game continues to go and go and go. Taking the quick tap now for the Rebels. Driving close, meter short here. And now just waiting patiently. Tamatiwani, the big man. How do they stop him? Very good defense. Now passing it back to Sarovi. Carter Gordon rush defense on him. Sells a couple of dummies. Goes himself. Nick Frost able to tackle him. To 86 minutes now. And phase after phase. Matt Phillip goes to ground. Luke Rima once again trying to cause a nuisance out of himself in the breakdown. Tamatiwani gets closer and closer around the side now. It's going to be the youngster. He almost ends up crawling. He does get pushed downwards though. And also, can you please send the notification for Kiwi Lad Sport channel? Also, we are waiting for your that channel streaming, says Michelle. So we will get it up in a very short moment. They're extremely close here for the Rebels. Is it over the line? It might be held up. Is it held up? No, the ball pops out the back. We're almost up to 87. At least the Waratahs have redeemed themselves this season. Exactly right. They're looking very strong for the Waratahs. And I know straight away when everyone was like, Michael Hooper's not playing for a start, they are in trouble. That was close for the Rebels. They're up to 11 phases. Are they going to get over the line? So Robbie goes back once again. That's a good drive. It's going to be held up, though. It's held up. That's the end of the game. 87 minutes. So cheers for the stream. I'll try to get some rest as well for the England Test and the Six Nations. Cheers, Sebastian. So, yeah, we will see you later on. Well, so it should be an exciting one, hopefully, for both factors. Get a couple quick wickets, or one quick wicket, in fact, it would be for the English. I couldn't think of the name for that one. Right, we will type in the Kiwi Lads Sport. There we go. But pretty much anyone who does want to see that channel, it is the pinned comment as well. And thanks, Amy, for a good night. And cheers, says it was Jay there as well. Appreciate you being here, mate, for it. And look forward to seeing you possibly tomorrow. There we go. That is the link to the Kiwi Lad Sport for anyone who does want to check it out. It is hugely appreciated, all the support you guys are showing on that channel. That is working its way towards the 1,000 subscribers as well. So we might add a couple milestones relatively close together. And great stream, Amish, when you're back on. So the next stream that we have got, a moment, I just want to make sure. I don't want to do Sharks versus Scarlets for the URC, but it's just a little bit too early on in the morning, unfortunately. So the next game that we are covering, it will be the Six Nations, Wales versus France. I will get that live stream set up pretty much straight after this for you guys to be able to check out. Then after that, we have got the first game of Super Rugby is at 7:05. That will be Crusaders versus Chiefs, followed by Reds versus Fiji and Drua. Then it's going to be either Italy and Scotland or Munster and the Bulls, one of those two. England versus Ireland, Ulster versus Leinster. And then after that, I believe we have got Waratahs versus the Western Force. And also, what is your name on Tribe? I have no idea. How do I find out this information? I think I'm linked through Facebook. So I think it's just my full name. So I don't know whether or not I should say it. Some of you guys do know my full name. Some of you do not know it. So it's a bit of a secret for that one. So what is a friend on Tribe? What is the, I guess, what can you do on Tribe with your friends, if that makes sense? Like, what is, like, does it just tell you what they are following type thing? What I can quickly do, now that I'm thinking on me feet, oh, I can't do that because I saved it on a different one. Right. Oh, what do we do? Wait, did I export it? If I exported it, I'm safe. If I didn't export it, I am sad. Because I might be able to set up this live stream while you guys are still here so that you do know where it is for that one. Be tribal as well. And yes, there's LA for that one. One moment. We'll go like this. We'll go like this. And we will go here because I hope that I exported and this game is becoming like football in terms of the time. There's Sam Sosa here. 2 in a row that we have gone deep into the game. Did I export it? I don't think I exported it, which does mean I won't be able to set it up, but it will be up in the next kind of 10 or so minutes on the channel. So be sure to check that out when we do get that all sorted. But thank you all very much for tuning in. If you did enjoy, be sure to leave a like and subscribe to the channel. As you can see, the Brumbies, they were able to get themselves a bonus point win, so they move into first on the Super Rugby table. But we will be back tomorrow morning for the Six Nations at 9 a.m. for that match, and it should be a very exciting one. JC is his respect, bro. And do appreciate you being here, mate. Also, anyone who does want to check out the Kiwi Lad Sport, we did a little bit of NRL, also the Women's Super Rugby over on that channel. The pinned comment is where you will be able to find it. And also that link that I have just put does take you over to the Kiwi Lad Sport. Be sure to check that out. So show some support to the second channel is what I was trying to say. Thank you all very much for tuning in. Do appreciate you being here. Hope you enjoyed the Super Rugby Friday night games, and I will see you all for the next one tomorrow.